Gentry.com or call or text 615-604-6263. That's AmandaJGentry.com.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Down payment may be required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy-only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ-HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We are live today, streaming on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are hanging out at Bridgestone Arena. Big Preds one tonight. Go LA the other night. New York tonight. Hey,
Coast
New York.
to coast.
Yep, New York tonight.
how you feel about
Bi-coastal.
that? You go one side, you go the other side. There you go. Big Preds game tonight. We've got a loaded show. Crispy will be here later today, so I'm very, very excited about that. So I always think it's funny. I've realized something about life, and I put out an Instagram post today. It marks the 2-month anniversary since we all lost Floyd, and I was talking about how we lost a legend in Floyd that put Nashville on the map, with an NFL team that went to the Super Bowl in their first year and all of that stuff. And the one thing that I think when I look back on the 5 years we did the radio show together, and I think probably Ian, I would assume, feels the same way, but I never really took it for granted. Like, I used to walk around, and I used to, have AirPods in during COVID when there was nothing to do. Like, nothing was open. You couldn't hang out with friends. You're either watching Netflix or, working out in the driveway, and I would just walk around, and I would just listen, to podcasts or books or radio or whatever on my phone, with my AirPods in. And I used to think about the fact that I got to do the show every day with Floyd, and just what an honor it was every day to do this radio show. I never took it for granted. As a kid who grew up in Westmead, who went to USN, who loved the Titans, I never took it for granted. And I think now you don't know when it's going to end. You know it's going to end at some point, and it obviously ended a lot more abruptly than any of us probably would have wanted. But I never took it for granted. I enjoyed it when it happened. Look at the Titans right now, and I look at the fan base. And I complimented the fans yesterday when we started the show. But there is one thing that I think maybe the fans, or I hope to explain to the fans, which is what you're getting out of Derrick Henry right now is not something you can take for granted. And I say that, and I'm sure a lot of people are listening, and they're like, well, duh. I mean, Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league. Derrick Henry is every kind of stat that is put into the Titans media notes is always some stat that involves Derrick Henry and pick a name from Earl Campbell to Eric Dickerson to Jim Brown to Marshall Faulk to Terrell Davis to LaDainian Tomlinson, all of them. They're all Hall of Fame running backs. Every now and then, Larry Johnson, who had that great year in Kansas City, or Sean Alexander, who had that great year in Seattle, they're in the mix with one of these stats too. But everybody else is a bona fide superstar Hall of Fame running back. Derrick Henry, through the first 6 games in the season, to have 700 yards and 10 touchdowns, only he, Eric Dickerson, and Jim Brown have done that. The Titans are 4-2. They just beat arguably the best team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills. And I think a lot of people know Derrick Henry's best player on the team. Derrick Henry could be league MVP. Derrick Henry might be the best player in the NFL, and they know it. But I don't feel the support. I don't see the support. How many people are going to go to the game on Sunday that are Kansas City Chief fans? 20,000? 15,000? They're going to pack it. There's going to be a lot of Chief fans. It may not be as many as Buffalo fans. It may be more than Buffalo fans. I don't know. This game will sell out. But what about when they play Jacksonville? What about when they play Houston? What about when they play the 49ers, the Saints? Is it going to sell out? I know it's a hot ticket. I was here during the Stanley Cup final run when I had tickets because I was a season ticket holder, and everybody in town was trying to get a ticket. I mean, I had everybody. I had companies that, I said, hey, do you guys have tickets? And I'm sure everybody that worked in the media in Nashville during the Cup final run got hit up for tickets. I don't feel that right now with Derrick Henry. When the Patriots came to town with Tom Brady, everybody was looking for tickets. Not sure I feel that right now. In fact, this is a big Chiefs game on Sunday, and is it a sellout? I don't know. I see billboards all the time for buy tickets, tickets on sale. I get emails, tickets on sale. Get your 2022 season tickets, tickets. Is this a hot ticket in town? I think this. Derrick Henry should be enough to get you to sit at the top of the nosebleed section. When the great players, the all-time greats, when they go to different cities, they are packed to see that one player play. I'm a baseball fan, and I grew up in the 90s. And I remember that when McGuire or Sosa or Barry Bonds or the Yankees or something like that came to your town, it was packed. I remember when Michael Jordan played at Greer Stadium. There is a 30 for 30 called Jordan Rides the Bus. And in the Jordan Rides the Bus 30 for 30, they talked about how the Birmingham Barons, the team that Michael played for, that they had 6 phone lines for tickets. They got to call at 7:30. In 30 minutes, we're going to announce Michael's going to Birmingham. They had to get 6 more phone lines. And every time that somebody dropped off the phone line that day, another phone lit up because everybody wanted tickets. We've all been there. We know what it's like when you absolutely, positively have to go to the game to see that one great player. And yet I'm not sure I feel that about Titan football and Derrick Henry right now. I get it. There's a lot of people that rather watch the game on TV than go to the game, and that's fine. And there's a lot of people that can't afford to go to the game, and I get that too, and I totally understand that. That's why I'm a big fan of open practices, because you can see the player that you may not be able to afford or that you may not be able to afford to take your kids to see, but they can go see this great player. But there's enough people that can afford tickets to the Titans that they could sell out every game. And I'm not talking about the kind of sellouts that teams get, at the end of the day where they say, this is our 938th consecutive sellout, and you could have walked to the ticket gate 5 minutes before kickoff and said, hey, can I get 3 in the upper level? Here you go. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a true sellout where when you go to the people that got tickets and you ask them, hey, you got any tickets? They're like, no, we don't have any tickets. That kind of sellout. And I don't feel that way about Titan football. I'm not knocking the Titans fans. I'm not saying you're bad fans. But I do wonder this. Do you understand how special this is? Like, how truly special this is? The last 40 games that Derrick Henry has played. The last 40. So not like it's, 5 games, 3 games, 2 games, 15 games, last season. The last 40. He's the best running back in the history of the NFL. The best. Better than Jim Brown. Better than O.J. Simpson. Better than Barry Sanders. The best. Here are the stats that the Titans put in their media release surrounding Derrick Henry from the game against Buffalo. And this is just Buffalo. Derrick Henry notched his 31st consecutive game with at least 50 rushing yards, tying Chris Warren for the second longest streak since 1960. Only Priest Holmes, who had 36 from 2001 to 2003, had a longer stretch. He joined Eric Dickerson as the only player since 1960 with 750 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns in the first 6 games of the season. His 76-yard run in the second quarter was the 3rd longest touchdown of his career. The run was the 4th longest rushing touchdown of at least 75 yards, and his 5th overall touchdown of at least 75 yards. He joined Chris Johnson with 7, Adrian Peterson, O.J. Simpson, Jamal Charles, Tony Dorsett, and Barry Sanders as the only players in NFL history with 4 or more rushing touchdowns of 75-plus yards. Eddie George may be considered to be the best Titan in the 20-plus years of the organization. Derrick has passed him in franchise history for touchdowns. Do you realize what we're watching? Like, if you're a fan and you're like, well, I think I'd rather watch the games on TV, or just think about 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Because what we're seeing is the kind of thing that you will want to tell people, I saw Derrick Henry. I remember, I can tell people right now, I saw Derrick Henry run for 238 yards on a Thursday night game against Jacksonville. I was there. I saw Derrick Henry run for 150, including a 76-yard touchdown and 3 scores against the best team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills. I saw Derrick Henry 2 years ago run for 188 against the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Titans knocked off the eventual Super Bowl champions. Everybody loves to say, I saw. You look at all the great players in sports, and everybody sits there and says, I wanted to see. I went and saw Cal Ripken Jr. when I must have been 11. And my brother went to college in Washington, D.C. We went to visit him. The Orioles were playing. My dad got us tickets to go watch the Orioles. And Cal Ripken Jr. was playing third base. And this was when Cal Ripken Jr. said this was going to be his last season. And every time Cal was standing at third, flash bulbs, this was back in the day where you had to have the camera, and then you had to, crank it a little bit and click, 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 and then you had to take it to Walgreens, and then they get it back to you in 24 hours. Cal Ripken Jr., every time he was standing there, flash bulbs going off everywhere. Because everybody knew Cal Ripken Jr. was an all-time great. That's what Derrick is right now. I see all these things where people say, hey, going to the Super Bowl and going to this would Derrick's legacy, and if Derrick runs for 2,000 again, and why wait for Derrick to do that? Like, why wait for Derrick Henry to go run for 2,000 yards again and then buy tickets to go see Derrick Henry? I'd rather buy tickets right now to go see Derrick Henry do what he's doing and say to yourself, hey, I was there when. I was there the Jacksonville game that got all this started. I always tell people, I'll never forget the first playoff game I ever went to. And I was thinking about this the other day after what was a great game against the Buffalo Bills. Because I said, what's funny? The Bills are not a franchise that you think of when, all-time great games. There have been 3 Titans games off the top of my head I can remember that were just unbelievable, down to the wire, great, monumental games. There was Monday night. There was a game in 2003, Billy Volek filled in for Steve McNair. And everybody was like, Billy Volek's got to play, and the Titans were in a playoff chase. And Billy Volek won the game for the Titans with a lacerated spleen. Now, they ended up having to put him on IR, and they had to bring Neil O'Donnell back, and it was all kinds of, but he won the game with a lacerated spleen. That was a great game. But the best Buffalo game at Nissan Stadium, do you know which game that was?
The one on Monday?
No.
Oh.
That's second.
The one 2 years ago?
No. It was January 8th, I believe, 2000. And I was at the game, and the Titans were the hottest thing in town. You couldn't get tickets back then. Talk about trying to get tickets. You couldn't get tickets back then. And I was at the game, and they were 13-3, and they had made the playoffs, and this was the first ever playoff game in Nashville. And Steve Christie hit a field goal, and the Music City Miracle followed, and Kevin Dyson ran into the end zone where we were standing. And I remember leaving the stadium, and my dad said, "You will never see something like that again." And I, to this day, talk about that experience of jumping up and down with my dad at Nissan Stadium, then Adelphia Coliseum, and that feeling of, first of all, the Titans are going to win and go on to the playoffs, but that feeling as a 10-year-old when you know that you just saw something great. Like something that I remember Stuart Scott, before it was called the Music City Miracle, calling it the Adelphia Miracle that night on TV. And I was like, wow, that was something special. And I am so glad I got to see it. Think about all the people. We all watched The Last Dance last year, and all the people on the road that went to go watch Michael Jordan play. Or all the people who drove from here 3.5 to 4 hours to FedEx Forum to go watch Kobe Bryant or LeBron James play the Memphis Grizzlies. Because hey, this is great. And so you're willing to spend the time, and you're willing to spend the money. You have one of those on your team right now, and I'm not convinced that this is the hottest ticket in town. I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I just think that it's time for us to open our eyes to how great Derrick is and how this is never going to happen again. What we get to see week in and week out. He had 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a Monday Night Football win over the best team in the NFL. That is never going to happen consistently again. And guess what? This week he may run for 160 against Kansas City. He might run for 200 against Kansas City. Don't you want to be there? But I'm just not sure it has that feel to it yet, and I don't know why. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. I'm a ticket holder. Caroline's a ticket holder. On the other side, I do want to get your thoughts on this. And Ian, I want to get your thoughts. And I also want to get your thoughts, the fans. But are we taking seriously enough what we're seeing out of Derrick Henry? Are we honoring it enough? Is it a big enough deal here, what we're seeing from Derrick Henry, plus some more crazy Derrick Henry stats that we'll get to. 615-737-1025. We are live today, Bridgestone Arena. Again, big game tonight for the Predators as they take on New York. Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 1025, the game.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
Throw the flag. Throw the flag.
All week long.
This is what the defense is, and we're okay with it as long as the big dog eats.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
1025 The Game has your chance to win Preds tickets all month long. Just post a picture of your radio dial set to 1025 The Game on social media and tag the game and use hashtag TicketDash to be instantly qualified. All brought to you by Social Furniture. Shop local. Shop social.
With Fundbox, you can stop waiting and start doing. If your small business needs funds to grow, the time is now. Fundbox offers fast, easy access to small business funding up to $150,000. So hire that new employee, launch that campaign, buy that piece of equipment. Apply in minutes at fundbox.com, and you could get funding as soon as the next business day. Fundbox. Ready, set, grow. Credit line amounts, rates, and terms are based on creditworthiness and subject to change. Additional documentation may be required.
Hey, what's up? It's Chase McCabe here to talk about my friends at BetMGM once again. They want you to enjoy the thrill of victory on your very first bet. The king of sportsbooks welcomes you to Showtime with the lock of the year. So pay attention. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on either Denver or Cleveland. If either team scores a touchdown, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. All you have to do is use the code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Enjoy football like never before with BetMGM's live betting options, boosted odds specials, and daily promotions at your fingertips all season long. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets if either Denver or Cleveland scores a touchdown. Nothing beats a W at BetMGM. New customer offer, paid and free bets. You must be 21 years or older, must be in Tennessee. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. For gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Football is back, and Electronic Express has what you need to make the game bigger than ever. Bring the stadium to you with the best in-home entertainment from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. Watching the game on the go? Save big on laptops, tablets, and headphones. Plus, we have all your appliance needs up to 50% off, and get up to 36 months free financing. We've got you covered this football season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Have you seen a running back at their peak better than Derrick Henry is right now at any point in your entire life of watching football?
Nope. Because what do you want from a running back, right? You want him to be fast. You want him to be elusive. You want him to have power. You want him to be able to catch. These are all things that Henry can do. But being that freight train that he is, well, I mean, how much does he weigh now? What, 245, 250, something like that?
I think he's like 242, something like that.
Yeah, when he took off on that long touchdown, and they showed it from behind, and he was just sprinting down the field, and defensive backs of Buffalo, maybe the best team in all of the NFL, defensive backs couldn't catch him. That to me said that, okay, this big, this fast, with some wiggle to him and all that stuff makes him not just the perfect running back, it makes him the kind of running back that if you built in a video game, the video game would flash this thing on the screen that says, okay, dude, I know you can do anything you want here, but this is too much. And yet he's a real live superhero that way.
That's Trevor Maddich, who's been watching football for 50-plus years, has played in the National Football League, and has been an analyst at ESPN for 18 years, who's saying Derrick Henry is the best running back he's ever seen. And yet, I bet you can go on the Titans right now and find tickets for the Jacksonville game, find tickets for the 49er game, find tickets for the Saints game, find tickets for the Texan game, find tickets. That's not how you treat an all-time great. When you're an all-time great, every ticket is sold every game because everybody has got to see you play. Even if you're in section 9,000, everybody is there. Michael Jordan, his last year with the Bulls, played a game in the Georgia Dome, which is a football stadium, against the Atlanta Hawks, and there were people that were like in the nosebleeds with little TVs in front of them and binoculars trying to look down and see them. And yet I don't feel that way about the Titans. And I wonder if that means that Derrick Henry is truly appreciated. Do you feel like Derrick Henry is truly appreciated by the fans?
I feel like Derrick Henry is appreciated as the best player on the Titans, in that if a kid asks for a Titans jersey, it's probably going to be number 22. And if you see a poster in downtown Nashville and it's promoting the Titans, it's probably a picture of Derrick Henry. If there's a face for the franchise nationally, it's probably going to be Derrick Henry. But when it comes to an NFL MVP candidate, one of the best running backs, you can put him in the conversation, especially after the season if he breaks the 2,000-yard mark. One of the best running backs in the history of the NFL. I don't think so. And I don't necessarily know what that looks like. If that's selling out every single game, if that is being in the top 5 jersey sales nationwide. I don't know exactly what appreciating Derrick Henry enough looks like. I just don't think that we're quite there yet. I don't know if it's because the Titans are in a smaller market. I don't know if it's
I'm talking about locally.
But I mean,
I'm not talking about around the country. I'm talking about here in town. We've had sellouts here in town before.
Is it the devaluation of the running back position?
I don't think so. It might be the devaluation of the 300 level ticket. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with.
But I mean, I feel like the devaluation of a 300 level ticket would be a good thing, because then that makes tickets more accessible and easier for people who may not necessarily be able to afford a ticket on a normal day to come see Derrick Henry.
All right, I just clicked single game tickets.
Okay.
Let's pick a game. Week 11 against the Texans. They are putting Floyd Reese into the Ring of Honor week 11 against the Texans. Let's go ahead. Takes me to Ticketmaster. I agree to whatever. I mean, look at that seat map. Look at that seat map.
Oh, yeah.
There's tickets everywhere.
There's tickets everywhere.
Except for the sidelines. You want to sit in section 116? Got your tickets. Standard ticket, row CC. That's the third row. In 116 in the third row for $157, you can go watch Derrick Henry play the Saints. Like, I'm not calling out the fans, because everybody's entitled to do what they want to do with their money. But you can get tickets in almost every section. There are a couple of sections, including a club level section that is dark blue, which means they have a lot of tickets to sell for that game. What am I missing? Oh my goodness.
I mean, is it a financial thing? Is it an interest thing? Is it a convenience thing? Because getting downtown isn't necessarily an easy thing to do. Parking downtown, paying for parking, walking across the pedestrian bridge.
First of all, for all the people, this is just me personally, maybe I'm breaking the rules out of it. I mean, that game should be sold out for all the people that want to honor Floyd going in the Ring of Honor. I'm just kidding there. But I mean,
a very nice notion.
I get it. It's the Texans. I get it.
It's not a sexy matchup.
It's the but like when Michael Jordan played the Vancouver Grizzlies, I bet you they bought all the tickets in Chicago.
And I feel like the price for a ticket for the Houston Texans game is lower than that. Kansas City Chiefs, a New Orleans Saints, a Buffalo Bills. So if money is tight and you're looking to go to a game, then the Texans game would be the perfect one to go to. Find a cheaper ticket, maybe in the 300 levels. Because if you want to go out and see Derrick Henry, that would feel like the perfect time to do it.
Now, is this price point too high? I just pulled up the Dolphins. January 2nd, last game of the season.
Cold.
It really, cold is so hit or miss here. Like, it could be freezing cold in on a weekend in November, and it can be balmy on a different weekend in January.
Yeah.
I mean, I think climate change is real, and I think it has changed Nashville from like a 47-degree winter city to like a 56-degree winter city. And there's a big difference between 47 and 56.
And I really don't hate that.
No, but
we are not pro climate change.
It is horrible for the world.
However, it is wonderful for me, someone who is perpetually cold.
So, section 307, and I don't know where the hell that is. I'm looking at the map. 307. It's kind of like towards the end zone in the upper level on the visitor sideline. $87.
That's high.
Is that price point too high? But is it too high for an all-time great? Like, would 87? Money
is tight. Money is tight.
Would
I don't care if it's Tom Brady.
$87 tickets sell in Tampa Bay to watch their all-time great quarterback? You know what? I'm going to pull them up. You start. You talk.
I mean, if money is tight, especially after a year where so many people lost their jobs, so many people took pay cuts, $87 for a ticket in the 300 level is a lot of money, whether it's Derrick Henry or not. And I'm not going to say that somebody has to spend their hard-earned money on a ticket. And if that's something that you want to do, if that's in $87 that you're willing to spend 10 times over, go ahead and do it.
Bears and Bucks this Sunday. Take a look at the seat map.
Not much left.
Not a single ticket left.
Not much left.
Not a single ticket on Ticketmaster left. I'm not calling out the fans. I promise.
Look at Kansas City this Sunday, because I mean the Texans game is a long way away.
Okay, let's pick a bad team that the Bucks play. They play. The Bills are good. Giants.
They play the Colts, too.
Yeah, but that's in Indianapolis.
Oh, that's in Indianapolis.
Giants, is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, tickets. I just clicked it. It's Ticketmaster. I have to agree. Okay, there are 3 sections where you can buy tickets. The cheapest ticket you can buy is $315 in section 132.
Holy moly.
Let's see what 223 is. $405 to sit in section 223, and there is 1 ticket. Now, let's see if you try to get 2 tickets from the Buccaneers for this game. No 2 tickets available for the Buccaneers. That's an all-time great. Like, they know they got an all-time great in Tom Brady. They know they've got a good team because they just won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's an all-time great. I can promise you when Jameis Winston was quarterback, it was like trying to find tickets to that Titans-Texan game that we just pulled up. You know, there were probably tickets all over the place when Jameis Winston was quarterback. And the point I'm trying to make is that, like, Derrick Henry is that good. Like, what he's doing right now is that good. He's going to run for 2,000 yards this year. Mm-hmm. No one's ever done that. Ever. Rush for 2,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. Like, I'm telling you, like, I was listening today to Robbie and Joe, and Robbie said that he thinks Derrick Henry's better than Eddie George, and that it goes Steve McNair 1, Derrick Henry 2, Eddie George 3. And I actually thought about this unprompted about, like, the Robbie and Retro discussion. And for me, I thought about this earlier in the week, and I love Steve. Like, I love Steve McNair. I mean, I've worked with people who loved him more than I did only because they knew him on such a personal level. I mean, D-Mace got so freaked out when Steve McNair died that he temporarily retired from football. Floyd, loved Steve McNair like a son. Chris Sanders was in the same draft class as Steve McNair. So, like, those guys, I mean, like, that was a part of their heart. But if you're asking me who the best player is, like, at their peak, I think Derrick's better than Steve McNair. Like, and my love for Steve McNair should tell you how I feel about Derrick. That how much I believe in Derrick and what he's doing right now. And I think what I'm also turning into, my dad is one of these guys that, like, no matter, you could have a basketball player that could come along that could drop 90 points a game, have 30 rebounds, and 10 assists every single night. And you will never convince my dad that that player is better than Michael Jordan. You will never convince him of that. No matter how good. The guy can have 3 arms, and you will never convince him that that guy's better than Michael. And I wonder if I'm turning into that with Derrick. To where when I'm, 60, and there's some running back, and I'm on the radio, and I'm like, an old crotchety radio host by then, that I'm going to be like, well, he's not Derrick Henry. But I'm just telling you.
I think you're there now.
I think Titan fans have got to understand what we're looking at.
I think you're a young crotchety radio host.
I mean, well, yeah. But, like, you have got, I mean, like, this is so unnatural. And there's great seats available. 615-737-1025. We'll go to your phones on it next. 615-737-1025. Plus, the one thing that I didn't think was going to happen after Monday night's game has happened after Monday night's game. We'll get to that. And, of course, we got to get our thoughts on Kansas City. TD at 3 o'clock for the TD Power Hour. We are loaded. We are live today from Bridgestone Arena right here on ESPN 1025 The Game, and all of our broadcasts here at Bridgestone Arena as we get you set for the Preds game tonight is brought to you by Hermitage, the design center, the professional source for lighting, hardware, appliance, custom kitchen, and baths on the web at gohermitage.com. Tune in to the Game of the Week on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. The Game of the Week is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Las Vegas Raiders. Kickoff at 3:05 on ESPN 94.9. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
This is Mikhail Kraland, and this is Nashville.
Rebound shoveled in by Mikhail Granlund, and the Predators have tied it up on the power play.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Hey, it's Jared. A lot of guys don't really think about the daily use that they have for their sheets. They think like, oh yeah, they're sheets. It's not that big of a deal. And then you sleep on bad sheets and you realize, I want to make sure that I go ahead and get the best sheets I can. That's why I'm here to tell you about my friends at Bull & Branch. If you dream of a comfortable sheet at a price that will not keep you up all night, look no further than Bull & Branch. I don't want you to sleep on one of those ones where you get a rash or you turn over all night or you just are miserable when you wake up in the morning. That's why I love my Bull & Branch sheets. I absolutely love. They have all the different colors and they're so comfortable. It feels like I'm sleeping on a cloud. I absolutely love the signature hem sheets from Bull & Branch. Experience the best sheets you've ever felt at bullandbranch.com. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use the promo code Jared at checkout. That's Bull & Branch, BOLL, and branch.com. Promo code Jared.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Hey Nashville, Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee here, inviting you to tune in on ESPN 94.9 every Monday at 6 p.m. for the Commodore Hour, providing you with exclusive insights on Vanderbilt athletics.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Will the national media consider Derrick Henry for the league's most valuable player? And should they?
Yeah, I think they will, and I think they should. I think that, he's got more attention than maybe everybody gives him credit for getting. I mean, only because when I do think about the national media conversation, so much of it is loud about Derrick Henry. I mean, I think at the end of the day, historic is historic. And the number of times that people have sat out there and said, hey, he can't continue these number of carries in general. In fact, I'll tell you this, as we were getting ready for the Monday Night Football digital show that I host every week, as we were getting ready for it, the only conversation was how many times can Derrick Henry carry the ball? And we were sort of laughing about it. And everybody in the production meeting was saying, every time you say this can't sustain, all he does is sustain. So at some point when you're doing something historic, I don't care what the position is, the world will take note. Now, obviously, quarterbacks it's a little like the Heisman. I mean, I feel like every year we turn the Heisman into a quarterback conversation. The MVP becomes a quarterback conversation so easily because, frankly, quarterbacks are easier to talk about. But I think what Derrick Henry's doing, and as he continues to do it, yeah, it'll get national media recognition. It'll get conversation. He'll get MVP votes. And if I had a vote, I would give him I agree with you. I would make him the MVP right now.
There you go. That was Jason Fitz, ESPN Radio on our show, saying I'd vote for Derrick. Shannon Sharp said he'd vote for Derrick. So I was surprised. I thought that the national media was going to tell you, no. Do not, under any circumstance, vote for a running back or Derrick Henry. No, they're in. But what about the fans here? so many tickets available for so many random games to watch Derrick Henry. This all-time great running back, what he's doing right now. Let's go to your phones. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. TD will be with us. And by the way, somebody tweeted me and said, I'd love to go watch Derrick Henry if Upper Bowl tickets weren't $200. Upper Bowl tickets, we looked for the Dolphins game. They were $87 for an Upper Bowl ticket, which I understand is expensive. And I understand there are people that cannot afford to do that. And I get that. But I don't see Tampa Bay as a more affluent city than Nashville. You know what I mean?
Also don't know what the ticket prices are in Tampa Bay.
I doubt that they're less than that.
Probably pretty high.
I'm just saying, when the all-time greats come.
But also, the Titans are coming off of a Super Bowl season.
Right, but how many, you were talking about, okay, let's look at a team that Green Bay's got an all-time great. Mm-hmm. You can't get tickets in Green Bay. You got to get secondary markets in Green Bay. Kansas City, and Mahomes, is he an all-time great? I mean, yes, there are some things that are all-time great level. Baltimore, I guess, would be interesting because I'm sure the people in Baltimore think Lamar's an all-time great. And he might be. I mean, I'm a big Lamar guy. Let's go to your phones as promised. 615-737-1025, phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, live at Bridgestone Arena. Will, kick us off. Thank you for calling the show. Go ahead, Will.
Jared, you had me sold. I was like, the family's going. This perfect opportunity. This weekend is probably going to be beautiful weather. You ought to be selling tickets instead of being on the radio. You got the hook in me. I was ready to pull the trigger. I went. It's going to be $1,000 once everything's said and done for a family of four, parking fees, a beer or two, some food because the kids will want that. $1,000 versus sitting in my room in my living room. I can't do it, man. And then Derrick Henry's going to be like an ant. I'm going to be able to cover him up with my thumb because I'm going to be so high up. I can't do it.
So I hear you on that, and I appreciate your call, Will. I get that. I understand the idea of, hey, it's really expensive to go to a game. I know this. Mm-hmm. But I'm comparing this to other cities, other teams, other situations. You don't think people in Green Bay in Milwaukee and Wisconsin and all those people that go to Packer games, you don't think those people have similar commitments? That's the point I'm trying to make, is that the places where there is an all-time great, and we were talking about this off the air, about how many teams right now have an all-time great player on their team. And we came up with Tampa Bay, Green Bay, maybe Kansas City.
At least for right now.
The Rams have Aaron Donald, and I don't know what Rams tickets are like. I'm sure Rams tickets are just through the rear end.
I'm sure they're so expensive.
And I'm sure
they got to pay for that stadium somehow.
I'm sure people in Los Angeles don't even care. But, I mean, through the rear end. I'm just saying, if Tampa can do it, why can't we do it? And then you would say, well, they just won a Super Bowl. That's my point. People want to wait till they win the Super Bowl before they get behind the team, or they get
I don't think it's that they're not behind the team. I'm sure they very much so support the team, just like the caller just said. I would love to be at that game. But it's not about supporting the team or not supporting the team. It's sometimes it comes down to finances.
That's for the individual person, though. I'm talking bigger picture about the city of Nashville that has filled that stadium before, that has had sellouts that were all Titan fans for the Titans, against the Bengals, against the terrible Browns, against the Texans, against they've sold it out to people in Nashville. That's the difference. Rick is up next here on Derrick Henry and the ability to watch this Derrick Henry show. Go ahead, Rick. We got Rick? Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick. You're on the air. Go.
Okay. The last time that I watched a football game in person, me and a buddy of mine flew to Chicago and watched the Bears lose to the Redskins in 1986.
Okay, what's that got to do with Derrick Henry?
I'm going to get there.
Please get there now.
Yeah, you're talking about how you should go to the games. The games are too expensive. I'd rather take my money, which I did yesterday. I put $100 on Derrick Henry to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Rick, how old are you?
I'm 68.
Okay, see, I think that these things are kind of more toward, I don't want to say pushed more towards the younger people. Thank you for your call, Rick. I don't want to say more pushed towards the younger people. But like when you talk to older people, they saw like a great player. The stories are usually like when they're 13, 14 years old.
Right.
It's like this one, I got to see Hank Aaron at Old Milwaukee County Stadium, and he did this. I got to see Michael Jordan in Orlando, and he got to do that. And I understand. Like, I'm not, the one thing that I don't want to do is get into everybody's personal finances about why you can or cannot attend a game. I understand that there are people that cannot attend a game. But if it's $87 a ticket for the Dolphins game on January 1st, and you've never seen Derrick Henry live, and you and a buddy go, it's 160 plus whatever, and then, tack on, those ticket fees, which drive me, just tell me how much it costs, which they never do.
The ticket fees are always like half of what the ticket costs.
They never do, which is a problem. And sometimes I feel like Congress passes a lot of stuff that doesn't really affect people. If they wanted to pass something in one of these bills that said like, hey, like you just tell people what the price of something is, I would appreciate. But so let's tack on an extra $50, right? So you're at 160, tack on, now you're 210, and you go to the game. I mean, like there are Christmas presents that cost like that much, maybe less, things of that magnitude. I'm not telling you what to spend your money on. I'm talking about, like, as a city, there's enough people in the city of Nashville that can afford to go to a Titans game. They just don't want to go to the Titans game. That's the bigger issue. And in Tampa Bay, there aren't people that don't want to go to the Buccaneer games. Or the supply is equal to the demand. We pulled up the Giant game. There's 4 sections where you can get 1 ticket. There is no section in that entire stadium, in that awful city, where you can get 2 tickets.
What's your beef with Tampa?
It's a lousy city. It's like Indianapolis. Like it's not.
At least it's Indianapolis with palm trees.
It's not Memphis,
Okay.
But it's like.
Are we back on our Memphis train?
Well, Memphis is just. Ugh.
I understand that you hate Memphis.
But like it's Tampa. Like it's Tampa. It's gross. It's Tampa.
Okay, get to the point.
Tampa stinks. But so anywho, like there's enough people in that crap city that want to go to those games, and yet where are they here? Like you can get all those tickets in all those sections to see the Texans play. And it's more so that people don't want to go to watch Derrick Henry. And that goes back to my point of this is an all-time great. If Michael Jordan, if Tom Brady, if Aaron Rodgers, who's an all-time great in baseball right now? That's probably not. That's probably
Shohei.
Yeah, but he's not an all-time great. Like for baseball, like Jeter. Like if one of those guys was on your team here, they'd sell it out. Like they'd sell it out. That's what he is. That's what Derrick is. To me, that's what Derrick is.
And you said it, it's people not wanting to go see Derrick Henry. I don't think it's them not wanting to see Derrick Henry. I don't think
they are choosing to not.
They're choosing to
not.
It's not an anti-Derrick Henry, I'm not buying tickets to the game because I don't want to see Derrick Henry kind of thing. It's just they don't care to.
Let's go back to your phones. Text line 615-737-1025. What we got?
This one is crazy. Nate texts in and says, Green Bay season ticket waiting list is nuts. I have a buddy put in waiting list when he was born. He's 33 and is number 2,100 on the waiting list.
Yep.
After 33 years.
Can't get tickets.
That is crazy.
You cannot get tickets in Green Bay. And that's another reason why when the Titans play some of these other teams, now Buffalo's different, but when the Titans play some of these other teams, they come here and buy all the tickets. Because it's easier to get tickets here than it is to get tickets there. I mean, you have a great weekend. You have it's easier to get tickets here. I mean, I'll tell you, I know what it's like when you cannot get a ticket. I've seen what that's like. I remember when they played Jacksonville, the first ever Monday Night Football game here in 2000. Derek Mason, I think, took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. And the Titans slashed the Jags. I mean, just killed them. Now, they were the defending AFC champions. But I remember at school, people were like, everybody, I can't, everybody I know is going in. Nobody, I can't get tickets. And like teachers were like, any of y'all's parents have tickets? Like, that's what it was like. That's what it was like around here when the Predators were going to the President's Trophy or won the President's Trophy that year. And it was like everybody, any game you had tickets. And it was like, hey, I got tickets to President. Oh, I'm there. And that's just what it was like back then. And I understand, that winning comes with this, but it's not like the Titans suck. It's not like the Titans, haven't been good. Titans are 4-2. Titans just beat the Buffalo Bills. Titans won the AFC title game 2 years ago. Titans, this is an all-time great. This is why I think it really is. I think it is Derrick Henry is such a star and has been such a star on so many different levels for so long that now we do take it for granted, even though we say we're not taking it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
We do take 153 touchdowns for granted. That's what
we
Derrick
expect
does.
that because that's what he
Right,
does.
That's what Derrick does. It's dude, it's 150 and 3 touchdowns against the third-ranked rushing defense in the NFL. It is mind-boggling to me on that stuff. Mind-boggling. 615-737-1025. Back to your phones next. TD at 3 o'clock. 615-737-1025 here on Stillman and Company. Join stars for this year's Cherish the Night Unplugged event on Wednesday, November 3rd at Marathon Music Works. This year's lineup is incredible, featuring Gordon Kennedy, Charles Eston, and Danny Flowers, with a special presentation of the Troy Gentry Compassion Award to the Young Fables. To learn more and to register, go to starsnashville.org. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
There's got to be a lot of confidence in the run blocking game right now.
All week long.
Derrick Henry always finds a way.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Saturday means college football, and Dos Equis Lager is perfect for celebrating your team's win over that rival school, whose name we will not mention. Dos Equis is a golden Pilsner-style beer that's perfect for enjoying with friends on game day. Grab a case for your next tailgate party, game day get-together, or alone time after a devastating loss. Dos Equis, a proud sponsor of college football. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2021. Recorded by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Got chronic joint pain? Not having success with steroids, but trying to avoid surgery? Well, thankfully, there's a better way. And now it's available here from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hey, Willie Donick here. I'm talking about new therapies. Advanced, all-natural, regenerative treatments that can not only just give you relief, but can also restore and repair damaged tissue, so you can have lasting relief. If you've got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, don't just think the old ways of dealing with pain are the only ways. You need to learn more about these new biologic therapy solutions. Call now for a free consultation. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. These remarkable new treatments increase mobility, decrease pain, and help restore tissue. They actually encourage your body to heal itself. Call now and learn more about these restorative, regenerative, and revolutionary alternatives. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Rock Bottom Nashville is Broadway's original brewery, where all brews are brewed on site. Josh Rappaport is Rock Bottom's brewmaster, creating fresh craft beers where peak flavors are always the rule. Grab one of their blockbuster beers to pair with their nachos, pretzel bites, and delicious flatbreads. They even have group catering. They boast one of the best views of downtown Nashville and is a short walk to Titans Stadium. And enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday afternoons from 2 until 6. Rock Bottom Nashville, 111 Broadway.
Choosing the right window treatments for your living space is serious business. Why struggle on your own when you can have the expertise of a seasoned design consultant in the comfort of your home, free of charge? For over 40 years, 3 Day Blinds has been making sure treatments have the perfect look to fit your style. We bring the showroom to you. We design, we measure, we install, and you relax. Right now, get 50% off the second treatment of select blind shades or drapery. Schedule your free, no-obligation in-home design consult. Visit 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
Robbie Stanley.
That size and that speed just doesn't grow on trees. That could be something that you could really turn into.
Joe Rexrode.
Just hold out and somebody will call in the bad signal.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
ESPN 94.9 is the official English radio home of the Nashville Soccer Club. Listen in this Saturday as Nashville SC takes on Philadelphia. Pregame 6:15. The match begins at 6:30. TD here in about 5 or 6 minutes. We're live at Bridgestone Arena talking about Derrick Henry. Now, our on-site engineer, Ladarius, is accusing me of pocket watching, which I didn't even know was a term. And so
it is what you're doing, though.
Am I? I'm telling the masses. I'm just looking at it like this.
I mean, you cannot tell people what to do with their money. And you cannot assume if they can or cannot afford
I am not telling an individual person. I am not telling them, hey, you need to take all that money you were saving in Jimmy's college fund and blow it to go watch Derrick Henry 2 weeks from now take on the Texans.
Student loans? Screw them.
I am not doing that. I am looking at the city of Nashville, which I have seen sell out Nissan Stadium many times before against bad Bengal teams, bad Texan teams, bad everything. And they've sold it out. And I'm looking at this little Ticketmaster map of firsthand, not secondary market, firsthand tickets at Titans.com. And I'm looking at them, and I'm seeing tickets everywhere against the Dolphins, tickets everywhere against the Titans, tickets everywhere. I pull up the one from Tampa. You can't find 2 seats together against the New York freaking Giants.
Also defending Super Bowl champions.
Okay, but now is everything, like, I'm just telling you, like, in order to be an all-time great, not every all-time great wins a Super Bowl, although a lot of all-time greats do win the Super Bowl. Not every single one of them does. I'm just saying, I'm not telling one person what to do. I'm just looking at our
You're telling
city.
everyone what to do.
There is enough people in Nashville that could afford. They just don't want to. That's the difference. In Tampa, they want to. In Indianapolis, when Peyton was there, they wanted to. In Chicago, when Michael was there, and when Michael went anywhere else, they wanted to.
Okay, but Indianapolis, when Peyton Manning was there. Tampa Bay, when Tom Brady is there. 2 of those players play what position?
Quarterback.
That's the thing. I think that is a little bit of a difference. And we talked about a couple factors that could be at play here. One could be the devaluation of the running back position. Also, Derrick isn't a super flashy, super out there personality. So I could guarantee you there's a lot of people who live in Nashville, maybe even have Derrick Henry jerseys, and they've never even heard him talk before. They don't even know what his voice sounds like. And that's not a knock on Derrick Henry. He can be whoever he wants to be in front of the cameras, off cameras, whatever it may be. But a superstar personality. Derrick Henry is a superstar on the field. But his personality is not flashy. It's not, you don't clip off a Derrick Henry soundbite.
Yo, look at these Ravens tickets. I'm trying to, click on the Ravens to see what they're like because they haven't won a Super Bowl. Now, they have a quarterback, I know. But their schedule. Bengals, who are actually not bad. Bengals and have some fans, but that's not that bad. Vikings, whatever. Browns, a lot of fans. Packers, a lot of fans. Rams, best defensive tackle maybe ever, and fans. Steelers, a lot of, every ticket the Ravens have is going to be. Let's click this November 7th. Vikings at Ravens and see what we have on the ticket list.
Whole lot of purple in there.
Let's see. We got some tickets. We got some Raven tickets.
Should we go to Baltimore?
Let's turn this to 2 tickets. Oh, no, can't get 2 tickets together. I'm sorry.
We can sit separately.
You can get
I'll just
one
FaceTime
ticket.
you from across the stadium.
Section 545, $65 to see the Ravens. There are 3 individual tickets you can buy in the lower level, but the tickets for the Ravens are cheaper than those for the Titans.
I also looked at Rams tickets, upper bowl on the home side.
Let me guess. $400.
$115. Upper bowl? Section 540 is $115. But
by the way, is section 300 here equal to 500 there? Is it the same site, or is it the 500s, 300 here is, 100 feet above the air, and a 500 section is 200 feet above the air, something like that.
I don't know. I've never been to this Roomba-looking stadium, but 300s to compare in the stadium are 180 plus.
So there's a 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The VIP section on the home side
$10,000
is going for $1,500.
Yeah. Well, I was off.
That was
$8,000.
Yeah.
TD, the TD Power Hour. We'll get into that next. We'll pick this up. We will pick, and we'll discuss a little bit of this with TD as well. But what are his thoughts about the Titans after they beat the Bills? We've got a second TD Power Hour this week. That's next. Stillman and Company right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, live from Bridgestone Arena. Let me tell all the fine folks out there, play Silly Underdog Picks today. Pick 3 football underdog teams you think will win this week for a chance to win. Go to thegamenashville.com and for more details to play. Silly Underdog Picks brought to you by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. TD Power Hour next.
Your speaker at home is so smart that even Alexa knows where to find Nashville's best sports talk.
102.5 The Game is Nashville's best sports talk.
Ask Alexa to enable 102.5 The Game. Once enabled, ask Alexa to play 102.5 The Game.
Welcome to 102.5 The Game.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey Nashville, we think you deserve the very best driving experience, and now is the time for our Season of Change CPO event at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you're backed by the remaining new vehicle limited warranty. Once that expires, the certified pre-owned limited warranty goes into effect, providing an additional 12 months of coverage with unlimited miles. See all the perks and exceptional offers for your certified pre-owned vehicle from Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
It's football season and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. There's sofas with recliners or push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99. Sectionals with chase lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are plus leather, microfiber, and Social Furniture has same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social.
Listen up, sports bettors. This is Hall of Famer Warren Sapp here to tell you about my favorite sports book, BetUS.com. I only endorse one sports book, and that's BetUS.com. Just like me, BetUS is the Hall of Famer of online betting with more than 25 years in the biz. Call today, and they will get you set up faster than I can run the 40. I play at BetUS, and so should you. BetUS.com.
Use code GAME for a sign-up bonus.
Tell them Sapp sent you.
Hey, it's Jared. Your body needs water. That doesn't mean it has to be boring. And I'm here to tell you to give Focus a try. Focus is a sparkling water with a spark. It's infused with a boost of natural tea caffeine so you get clean energy without sugar, calories, or crash. Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door. Enter promo code GAME at checkout for 15% off your first order. Focus is also available at your local Publix. That's Focus, P-H-O-C-U-S, on the web at drinkfocus.com.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology. But we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 1025 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live at Bridgestone Arena today, brought to you by the Hermitage, the Design Center, the professional source for lighting, hardware, appliance, custom kitchens, and baths on the web at gohermitage.com. TD is with us. The TD Power Hour is presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, National's premier mobile tire company, online at FreedomTireGuys.com. And Craneworks and Rental Works, your source for crane and equipment rental. Visit Craneworks.com. I think I got enough names out there. TD, how we doing today?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, we're fired up over here today. The first hour got us going, and I think it's because right now things are good. The Titans win on Monday night. Derrick Henry does his thing. And I got to be honest with you, TD, I was surprised. I thought that the Titans were going to have to pass to set up the run on Monday night. They didn't. They just ran, and Derrick just ran like he runs against everybody. And somehow the defense held enough, and they found a way to win 4-2. Right now they would be the third seed in the AFC playoffs ahead of Buffalo. What do we think of the Titans?
Well, they did what I told you they would do, right? I said they were going to run the football, and the middle of the field was going to be wide open because of the play action. Guess what happened? So that's just something that just it's just the way that they play. I think that's really the bottom line. And Derrick Henry, just what he does each and every week, I think it is being fully taken for granted. And the thing that's crazy is it's even the players that are taken for granted. I had asked Ryan Tannehill, I said, every week Derrick Henry is mentioned with Jim Brown and guys like, LaDainian Tomlinson, and he was like, well, that's just Derrick being Derrick. Did we lose you, Jared?
No, you didn't lose me.
Oh, okay. I was expecting you to come back with something else, but
no,
yeah,
I mean,
I'll keep going.
But no. The point you were making that I was thinking that I was going to say back was I do feel like the Titans are so about being a team, and Vrabel preaches it, and the players preach it, and I'm not saying it does a disservice to Derrick, but I mean, he's a superstar, and sometimes I feel like when Ryan Tannehill goes, oh yeah, that's just Derrick being Derrick, it kind of undersells how great what Derrick is doing.
I think we made 102.5 the game history just a couple minutes ago. Jarrett Stillman was quiet. I just had to point that out.
TD, you were making such a good point. I was letting you go.
Felt kind of nice, didn't it, TD?
Yeah, it was awkward. More awkward than nice.
I thought we went off the air. I was like, what happened?
That's what I thought. But I mean, your question though about what do we know about the Titans after this week? I think the main thing that we know about this team is that they're capable of playing with anyone. And I think what we know is that because of this formula that they have, they will always have a chance to win because it's just really amazing how much of a neutralizer that rushing attack is. You watch that Buffalo defense just continue to just, dwindle to a point where, somebody has said you take away his 76-yard carry, and they did pretty well against them. Well, there's two things with that. You can't take it away, but then in addition to that, they hammered away at the defense for that other 70 or like 68 yards that he gained. So I think really when you look at this, the bottom line, they're always capable of playing with whoever. And I think this also goes to what we know about Todd Downing. And I think what we're learning about Todd Downing is he's getting more comfortable as a play call, and his calls are getting better. They're more timely. You look at and it was pretty cool to see it on the broadcast. You look at there was a series where Jerry Hughes came off the edge because what they were trying to do was really rush hard to keep that screen game from working, and some of the things that rather not the screen game but the rollout game, the boot game, and they were rushing hard up the field to keep that from happening. And Jerry Hughes had batted down a pass by Tannehill, and then on the very next play, they did a quick handoff that allowed Henry to make a backside cut because of that DN rushing. This time it was Gregory Rousseau rushing up the field, and that helped lead to a big gain. So I think what we saw and what we're learning is that Todd Downing is actually not the bum that a lot of people were making him out to be.
Remember, I always stayed neutral on Todd Downing, just for the record, and I mean, I'm still, like, I think he's doing an okay job. I mean, I'm still just kind of neutral, you know? Like, I think the season, like, for an offensive play caller, he's got to get more into the season and things
Jared,
like that.
Listen to me. It's okay to make a positive point. Like, I don't know, like, why you always want to neutralize a positive point, but it's okay. It's all right. Trust me. Trust me.
Just right there in the middle on that.
It's all right to make a positive point about somebody.
Do you think the Titans are contenders?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they be?
Like last year, I felt like when they got spanked by Cleveland and then beaten as badly as they did by Green Bay, you know, elite or not elite teams, but bona fide playoff teams that had good passing attacks, I just felt like that defense was never going to hold, you know, for 3 or 4 games in the playoffs. And I wonder the way that they won.
You asked me about being a contender this year.
No. But I'm saying like I wonder if this team can do what they did on Monday night for 3 or 4 games, which is what it would take to get to a Super Bowl or to win a Super Bowl.
I don't know that it's always going to take that same type of performance to go to a Super Bowl. I mean, you look at, you know, some of the other stretch. Like you look at their 2019 stretch. I mean, there were games where they didn't score 30 points. You know, they just won gritty games. You look at the Patriots one. And I think that's really what it boils down to is their style of play. It's one that's hard to beat. Now, obviously, the formula, hey, stop Derrick Henry and everything will be cool. And that's what the Chiefs said before that championship game, and that's what they did, 69 yards, 19 carries. But I think at the same time, you have to look at just the way this team is built. And I think when everything is clicking, because remember, like we're not, and I know you were against the Julio Jones trade, but, I mean, that trade is something like we haven't really seen Julio Jones play as capable as he's able to. You know what I mean? So I think that will just add more to it. And think about this. You know, what we've watched, we haven't – last night or Monday night was probably the most balanced we've seen out of this team, you know, this season. So I think that's something to look at. I definitely feel that they're capable of being a contender. Now, do I have them just flat out like, do I think they would beat the Bills again? I don't know. I can't call that one. Do I think that they would, you know, go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs? You know, that's up in the air. But I still think when you mention top teams in the AFC, you absolutely have to mention the Tennessee Titans.
And I think what's crazy is I went and clicked, you know, the AFC playoff picture. And I saw Baltimore right now is number 1. And I've seen some Baltimore games where I watch Lamar and I think, I don't know how anybody ever stops this team ever. And then I've seen some games like in Indianapolis where Baltimore made a lot of mistakes that Indianapolis could have capitalized on it and ultimately didn't. The Chargers are number 2. They just got blown out. The Titans are number 3. Buffalo, who the Titans just beat's number 4. I mean, like, there's not one team in the AFC that has laid claim through the first month and a half of the season as clearly the best team. And I think that leaves room to say, hey, everybody's kind of jumbled up together, and certainly, TD, the Titans are in that mix.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was my whole point to when you asked me if they're a contender. Yeah, they are, because they're in that mix without a doubt. And I don't see how, you know, you can't include them in that mix because typically you look at, you know, top eight, they're going to almost, I'm not going to say definitely, but they have an extremely inside track to win in the AFC South Division. So that makes them one of the top 4 teams in the conference.
What about the defense? How do you feel about them? They got the big stop when they needed to on 4th down, which nobody talks about. The Titans' goal line defense for the last 3 years has been awesome.
It has.
I mean,
a short yardage period. You know, it's been. You look at the 2 forced turnover on downs they had against the Ravens that turned that game around. You know what I mean? And it goes back to something about Jeffrey Simmons, you know, because he's typically in the middle of those things. And you heard what he said, right? You know, it's my gap, and you're not going to run in my gap. Mm-hmm. And I think when you look at that defense overall, though, you know, after that Bills game, I mean, there was definitely, you know, a lot to be desired, left to be desired, right? Because you don't want to see a team be able to go up and down the field like that. But at the same time, they were more or less taking a bend but don't break approach. And once it got into the red zone, then things started to throttle down. There were some times where, you know, like Jack Rabbit Jenkins, he came off his assignment, you know, on a Cole Beasley touchdown. There were other times where it seemed like they were just able to drive at will, with the 10 to 15-yard passes to Manny Sanders and Stephon Diggs. So that's something that they'll need to get together because, bottom line, you don't want to be in that situation where you have to have that goal line stop. It was great that they had it, but you want to try to avoid being in that situation. You would like to see a defensive stop a little bit early in that drive.
Can they get by with the secondary the way they are right now?
And they better play a lot of zone. They better play a lot of zone. But the whole thing that's crazy this week, you play a lot of zone, you got one of the best zone busters in the NFL in Travis Kelce. So it's going to be tough. I don't know if they could get by in the playoffs. They could probably get by. So Borders, though, I've always liked Breon Borders and his game. He obviously isn't, the vertically speed type of guy to run with a Tyreek Hill, but, I think he still could play solid defense. I think they could get by for now, but if it's like this in the playoffs, you might have to cancel Christmas.
TD is with us, the TD Power Hour, presented by Freedom Tire Guys, freedomtireguys.com, and Craneworks and Rental Works. Coming up on the other side, Derrick Henry's getting a lot of national MVP love. TD has done the numbers, the stats, and info, and, if you see at ESPN.com, TD's got, if Derrick stays on this pace when he's catching Emmitt Smith, that's how in-depth TD is. What does he think of the amazing Derrick Henry? That's coming up next here on Stillman and Company. Boll and Branch, that's right. They sent me some sheets, and they said, hey, we think that you would love these sheets and would love to tell people about them, and I went ahead, slept on them, and I got to tell you, I thought at first, okay, these are sheets. Now I'm like, these are sheets. In fact, you want to know when I noticed most that I didn't have my Boll and Branch sheets? When I slept on other sheets. When I changed out the Boll and Branch sheets and I put back regular sheets, I was like, oh my God, where are my Boll and Branch sheets? That's right. A lot of people don't think about sheets because they don't think it's a big deal. But these Boll and Branch sheets make you feel like you are sleeping on a cloud. If you dream of a comfortable sheet at a price that will not keep you up all night, look no further than Boll and Branch. I absolutely love them. I don't want, the low quality threads that pile up. No. These are state of the top of the line sheets, and I absolutely love them. They look gorgeous. They feel great, and that's what I really care about. We've got comfort, sustainability, quality that lasts, and it's all at a fair price. The signature hem sheets from Boll and Branch are the best seller for a reason. They're not too hot, not too cool, the perfect year-round sheet for almost all sleepers. You got to do it. Plus, best of all, Boll and Branch gives you a fair price, plus a 30-day risk-free trial with free shipping and returns. So try them out and be like, wow, Jared's right. No rash. It's not, just a perfect sleep. Experience the best sheets you've ever felt at bollandbranch.com. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use promo code JARED, J-A-R-E-D, at checkout. That's Boll and Branch, B-O-L-L-A-N-D, branch.com, promo code JARED, Boll and Branch.
It's game day in Smashville. Brought to you by Hermitage, the Design Center.
Sissons put it down in front. And it's put away by Canner.
The Preds look for another 2 points when they host the Rangers.
There's really good teams in this league, and you got to fight every night to win.
Pregame at 6. Face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Panera believes in saying yes to things, like the new sausage and pepperoni flatbread, crafted with rich cheeses. Order on the app today. Panera, live your yes. Restrictions apply.
Announcing a rare opportunity for huge savings if you're in the market for replacement windows or doors. Saturday, October 23rd, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is having an open house, offering 10% off all merchandise. That even includes 10% off their current special offers. Mark your calendar and stop by the Pella Windows and Doors in Cool Springs, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for these great deals. Bring your measurements or snap a picture of your replacement needs and come to Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville.
Hey, Darren McFarland here. The NBA is back, and at DraftKings Sportsbook, the authorized sports betting partner of the NBA, key to victory is a strong starting five. New customers can bet just $5 on any NBA team to win their game, and if they do so, you win $200 in free bets. So why not make your roster Washington, 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 oh yeah, and Washington. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also get skin in the game with the same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Right now, use that code 1025GAME. Bet just $5 on any NBA team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. Once again, use that code 1025GAME. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook, you must be 21 years of age or older. Tennessee only. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Down payment may be required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Your home value is way up this year, and with mortgage rates back to all-time lows, it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. Refinance now and get cash out of your home's equity. Hey, it's Willie Donick. Loan Pronto can refinance your loan at a super low rate. They can pay the closing costs for you and get you a bunch of cash out. How does $40,000 or $50,000 sound? Don't just sit on that home's new value. Use it. Use it to pay off credit cards. Use it to consolidate other debt. Get rid of PMI. Use IT to make your home even more valuable with that home improvement project you've been dreaming about. Loan Pronto's all-digital platform makes it fast and easy. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Ask about the Loan Pronto zero-cost cash-out refi. LoanPronto.com, 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Zero cost option not available on all loans.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Knowing how much those stats roll into W's for your team, why is it so irrelevant to you? Because, I mean, every week, we're saying, hey, Derrick has done something like Jim Brown, LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, why is it so irrelevant to you when you're taking place in history?
I just don't try to get too caught up in it and worry about things like that. I'm really worried about how well we do as a team, how well we do as an offense, and what I can do to help the team each and every week, and how can I be better rather than, this record's coming up, I have a chance to break this record. It's like, how can I be better each and every week, be a better teammate, be a better leader of this team, and go out there and take advantage of the opportunities that I get to help this team win.
That was Derrick Henry. Well said. Very Derrick Henry-like. And the truth is I do think Derrick Henry thinks like that. That not, oh, hey, I'm 200 yards away from Jim Brown. More so like, hey, what do I need to do on this carry to help the Titans beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which is where his head should be. But, TD, you brought up the point, TD Power Hour presented by FreedomTireGuys.com and Craneworks and RentalWorks. You brought up the point, TD, that it is underappreciated. And I don't know if you meant locally, nationally, or just in general what Derrick Henry's doing, but you've written a lot of great pieces at ESPN. I mean, it's like every week, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns is a career day for most running backs, especially on Monday Night Football. And for Derrick Henry, it's just like, well, on to the Chiefs. What do you make of all of it?
Even though he fell short of that on Monday, he still has 3 games of 150 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in 6 weeks. You know the last time that happened? And this is what I'm talking about, why I said that to Derrick, because it's like every week we're doing this. The last time that happened was 1958 with Jim Brown. Like, we're talking about Jim Frippin' Brown. You see what I'm saying? But then you look, like it's just always something, right? You talk about his yards after contact, right? 377 yards after contact. That's the most in like the last 10 to 15 years. Adrian Peterson came close. I think it was like 353 and then 349 a couple years. But it's just every single week. I mean, we could just look at so many numbers here that it just could be pulled right out of a hat, right? Let's go to his 10 rushing touchdowns that he has through 6 games. Well, the last time that happened was by LaDainian Tomlinson and Priest Holmes. The most ever is Sean Alexander. You know, he had 12 in the first 6 weeks. Alexander won the rookie, the MVP that year. Derrick Henry, first player with 750 rushing yards at least and 10 TDs in the team's first 6 games since Eric Dickerson in 1983, and third player to do it all the time, along with Jim Brown in 1958. Like, it's just it's stupid, just the level that this guy is playing on. And then you look at the 40-game stretch that he had, and this was going into this game on Monday. No one had a better 40-game stretch than Derrick Henry has. Again, we're talking about Emmitt Smith. We're talking about Terrell Davis, who had that amazing stretch. We're talking about all these guys. None of them had it. But then with that stretch, so what I did in the post was I reached out to ESPN Stats and Information, and I just asked them to run a couple models. I said, let's go back to 2019, the beginning of the year, and then we're also going to go over this 40-game stretch that he's been on, starting with that 99-yard touchdown run, which, oh, by the way, tied Tony Dorsett for the longest ever. We wanted to start there and look at the two averages, right? And since the start of we went back to 2018. And since the start of 2018, he's averaged 101 rushing yards per game. So at that pace, he would break the record in 2028 at the age of 34. Now, let this be known, I don't think he's going to break the record. Derrick himself doesn't think he's going to break the record either. He's on record for saying that it's basically unbreakable. But then if you look at the 40-game pace, and this was before the game on Monday, he was at 119.8 rushing yards per game. That was the pace over the last 40 games. Using that pace, it would take him 99 games to break the record. That would make him 33 years old, 2027, 33 years old, which happens to be the same age Emmitt Smith was when he broke it. That rate is actually going up because he's averaged now 126 yards over the last 41 games. So I say all that to say that it is really amazing what we're seeing. And then on top of that, right, you say, okay, this guy is doing all the stats and putting up these numbers. I mean, it has to be favorable situations for him, right? No. He's faced a loaded box on 30 of his 910 rushes. That's 3.7. And he's averaging 5.1 yards per rush on those carries. I mean, it's ridiculous. And even on those runs, right, the 5.1 that he's averaging, and I don't mean to throw all these numbers at you, but these are just like statistics that are just stupid. He's getting hit. He's averaging 1.9 yards before contact. So that 5.1, over half of it is coming from him after contact.
What I think is crazy, too, like you brought up the rushing title with Emmitt, and full marks to Emmitt. I mean, when I first, started watching football, Emmitt Smith was the premier back in the league. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, like Karl Malone has more points in basketball history than Kobe Bryant. No disrespect to Karl, but I'm not sure any of us look at Karl Malone as a better basketball player than Michael or Kobe or, anybody. And I guess that's my way of saying, like, Derrick may not end up with that record. I'm with you. I don't expect Derrick to break that record. But have you ever seen a running back that takes over the game like Derrick Henry does? That on, like, a consistent basis, the way Derrick Henry has now for years, just takes over the game. Everybody in the ball yard knows he's getting it. We know the Titans have deficiencies in other areas, and yet Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, knows Derrick's getting it in a playoff game, can't do anything about it. And that's something that I'm trying to be objective here and say, okay, I've seen great running backs before. When Priest Holmes was in Kansas City, he was unbelievable. When Sean Alexander had those couple of years in Seattle, he was awesome. So many, LaDainian Tomlinson, and I think Derrick's better than them. And I'm trying to be trying to be objective here. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you throw Adrian Peterson in that mix too. And
Sure.
I can say this, like I'm old enough to remember, like my favorite running back all time. Now, I'll be honest, Derrick Henry is making an ascension up that list, but Eric Dickerson is my favorite running back all time. And I think that might be why I like Derrick Henry so much, because both of these guys are big. They get out in the open field, and they're just like Clydesdales. They don't get caught, and it's just fun to watch that. I think he definitely is making his mark as just like a pure ball carrier. I mean, he has to be top 10 at this point right now, and it feels crazy to say that, because as I say that, I see Walter Payton running the football, right? I see Tony Dorsett hitting a home run. But the thing that's so crazy about all this, like I see Earl Campbell running through somebody's face. The thing that's crazy about all that is he does similar things to what all these guys do. Dominate and 8 in the box. That's what Adrian Peterson does. He does that, right? Breakaway run. I just said it reminds me of Eric Dickerson. One cut and get upfield. Well, when I talked to Adrian Peterson about Derrick Henry, he said, well, Derrick Henry reminds me of a blend of Eddie George and Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis, one cut, get up the field, right? We talk about Earl Campbell running through somebody's lips, like Chris Sanders. I'm talking like Chris now, running through somebody's lips. But you look at that game against, on Monday, right? He ran through that safety. Like he ran literally through him. You know what I mean? So he gives you a blend, and that's the thing that's so crazy. He gives you a blend of all of the greats. You know what I mean? And that's why it's hard for me not to have him in my top 10. And you don't want to be, have that, recency bias or anything like that. But, I mean, what we're watching, it's outstanding. And there is, no reason why you shouldn't pay attention to what this guy's doing. And then for it to be in an era where this isn't supposed to be happening, right? Mm-hmm. I was told the running back position is devalued. Heck, I was told that it probably wouldn't be smart to give Derrick Henry a second contract. Well, we know that was, I'll just leave it alone. It wasn't a good idea, to say something like that. But I think when you look at what this guy is doing, man, it's unbelievable. And every single week you got, like, we're talking about outstanding defensive players, man, like premier athletes. Like, hey, man, he's not going to do this today, and guess what he does? That's the thing that's so crazy about it. And then this dude has the nerve. He has the audacity at 6'3", 247 pounds to run 21 miles an hour, man. That's stupid, man. It's not fair.
I heard Stephen A. say that Derrick Henry, watching him, reminded him of Earl Campbell. And I'm like, now, Earl was not in my day, but, as growing up a Titans fan, you got to know what Earl Campbell was all about. Earl Campbell was a great player. I'm not sure Earl Campbell was ever running 21 miles an hour on a play. Exactly. That's what makes Derrick Henry so incredible. TD's with us. Get your questions in for TD. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Text in, and we'll get to the questions for TD at the end of the hour. But I need TD's thoughts on the Chiefs. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Those are my guys. They love the Nashville Predators, the Tennessee Volunteers, and the Vanderbilt Commodores. You see that Hiller logo all throughout Bridgestone Arena here because of how much they love the Predators. And I will tell you how much I love Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical because they take great care of my home. They have a happy you'll be here, the service is free guarantee, and I can vouch for that because I'm very happy when Hiller comes out and takes great care of my home. You've noticed all the inventory shortages and empty shelves everywhere, and now there are serious shortages on equipment and products for your home. HVAC systems, tankless water heaters, and generators are going to be extremely limited in 2022. If you need a replacement, call our friends at Hiller today. Don't wait until you are out of options. Hiller has special financing available. Buy now and pay nothing until next year. Their work is backed by the Happy You'll Be Your Service is Free guarantee. That's right. Learn more at happyhiller.com. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. My guys, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Titans, Chiefs.
Derrick Henry into the second level and into the end zone.
What will Derrick Henry do for an encore? Tune in Sunday at 9:30 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard, live from Rock Bottom Restaurant and Brewery on Broadway.
This is a team that pays guys a lot of money to produce.
I want to see if the Titans are going to be a mature team.
They're still in good shape in terms of the AFC South.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Jared, and there's a new go-to for home furnishing. Social Furniture on the West Side is independently home-owned furniture store in Nashville. Forget the big box store. Shop local, shop social.
It's football season, and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99, Chase Lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are Plus Leather, Microfiber, and Chanel's. There's no waiting, and take home your new motion furniture today or with their same-day fine furniture delivery. Social Furniture has no down payments and no interest. You don't want to miss out on their best lifetime guarantee motion furniture sale going on now.
Shop local, shop social. 5412 Charlotte Avenue near White Bridge Road, and tell them Jared Stillman sent you.
Two of the biggest names in comedy are coming.
Motherfucker threw a banana peel at me. It was premeditated. You can tell.
Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan together.
We are weird, because what we are really is we're some weird super organism.
This Sunday, Bridgestone Arena. Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan.
Like, you didn't eat that banana recently, motherfucker. You had that shit waiting on me.
Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks is ready to help lift Nashville. As the Southeast's most trusted name in crane and equipment rental for over 30 years, Craneworks offers certified operators to make sure the job is done right. Rentalworks has a diverse fleet of equipment to assist in any project, big or small. From forklifts to carry deck cranes, they have it all. When it's time for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project, call Craneworks. Visit craneworks.com.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old? You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health, if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or invigoratehealthtn.com.
Choosing the right window treatments for your living space is serious business. Why struggle on your own when you can have the expertise of a seasoned design consultant in the comfort of your home, free of charge? For over 40 years, 3-Day Blinds has been making sure treatments have the perfect look to fit your style. We bring the showroom to you. We design, we measure, we install, and you relax. Right now, get 50% off the second treatment of select blinds, shades, or drapery. Schedule your free, no-obligation in-home design consult. Visit 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
Saturday afternoon.
A 20-yard strike, and it's 14-6 the Doors.
The Vanderbilt Commodores are back on their home turf for an SEC game against Mississippi State. Pre-game at 1:30. Kickoff at 3.
On ESPN.
On 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, this is John Hines, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
What kind of challenges does that Chiefs offense present? Whereas, got Tyreek Hill, he stretches the field. Kelsey is so good work in the middle. How much stress does that put on the game?
Well, they're just a lot of athletic, a lot of speed. They revolve around speed, and there's a lot of precision to what they do. There's a lot of plays that repeat. Something that Andy isn't afraid to do is to repeat plays. And it's just that their efficiency with them is outstanding. The players know what to do, and they're executing. And so it may look different based on a coverage that they see, and if it's man, then he may want to go to Kelsey somewhere because of the matchup, or if it's zone, he knows that there's a receiver that's going to be throttling down differently in each zone. And so they create a lot of speed, and it's a vertical threat, passing attack, and then there's some underneath elements with guys working underneath as well.
The Chiefs can do it all. That was Mike Vrabel. TD asking the question. TD Power Hour presented by Freedom Tire Guys and by Craneworks and Rentalworks. TD, I don't know how much you watched, if you watched the Chiefs game on Sunday since the Titans played on Monday night. I watched a little bit of it and then kind of bounced around to some other games. The Chiefs are still really good, are still capable of putting up a lot of points, and they still got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. but they don't feel as buttoned up or as sharp or as crisp as the Chiefs that we've known over the last 3 years. What do you think of the Chiefs as the Titans get set to play them on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a few more turnovers, specifically some interceptions from Patrick Mahomes. But I think that game is actually an example of why it's not as big of an issue as the stats tell you, because he had a ball hit Tyreek Hill in a bad spot, right in the hands. You know what I mean? And it bounced up and it was intercepted. So, and that's not the first time that has happened. So I think, the turnovers, it's something that you definitely have to make sure that you're rallying to the football and you're staying around it so you can catch a deflection, because it's likely to happen again. But make no mistake about it, these guys still stretch the football, right? The field, rather. They make it tougher to play zone defense. When you have Tyreek Hill running through that zone and clearing out the safety, and then you got, Travis Kelce coming in right underneath, like that's tough to go against. Then not to mention Mecole Hardman is making big plays. Byron Pringle's a guy they go to. They like to throw the ball to Darrell Williams. So, I mean, there's a lot of options that they have to go with. I think it really comes down to up front, Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, who has developed into, a closer. He's a finisher this year. Those guys have to get on to Mahomes and flush him off a spot. And this is something that I said last week about Josh Allen. You want to get him on the move and make him go just kind of like off his block and have to throw the football in ways that, he doesn't really want to. And I think the same thing goes with Patrick Mahomes. But the problem with Mahomes is he's still just as accurate when he's throwing on the move. Mm-hmm. That's the big issue. So for me, you play top-down defense. You try to take away that big play, and you try to force him into that extreme desire that they have to hit those home runs, right? It's like hitting giving a home run hitter a curveball, right? You want to do that because he's going to swing for the fences, and in doing that, a lot of times mistakes happen, and that's how you get an interception.
I have a couple of thoughts on the Chiefs. The first, that their line is not bad. The players on their offensive line are not bad. It doesn't feel, though, because they've completely redone that offensive line, it doesn't feel like they've gelled yet. And I think with a quarterback like Mahomes, there's got to be – we talk about chemistry between the wide receiver and the quarterback. I think when you've got a quarterback like Mahomes that goes off script as much as he does, I think there's got to be a little bit of more chemistry built with that offensive line, and I think that may be a little sluggish, at least in some of the games that I've seen. And the other thing is, I think their defense is kind of lousy. What do you make of their line and their defense?
Yeah, well, the line, you make a good point. You have to understand how to, block for a guy like that, and it's not easy when you never know where he's going to be. So that's a good point there. The defense, though, I mean, I'm surprised you didn't use some of the words that you use when you talk about these Titans players to talk about that defense, man. Because
I mean, it does suck.
There you go. The red zone defense is terrible. They're 70+% allowing teams to score. The rushing defense, they're giving up $133 per game. That's 27th in the NFL. They are giving up 5.2 per carry. That's 30th in the NFL. They've given up, 8 or 9 passing plays of 40 yards or more. That's worse than the NFL. They've given up, I think, 30th in the NFL in rushing touchdowns. All of this boils right into what the Titans want to do. What did Mike Vrabel say when I asked him about Derrick Henry after the game? He said, we're just going to keep jumping on his back and riding him because we know he's willing to carry us. This is a week where that prophecy really is executed once again, because I wouldn't be surprised if Derrick Henry gets 30 carries this week, and it's because this is one of those type of games that you could have your offense play defense, and you want to keep Mahomes and those guys off the field. I do want to see, and Ian brought it up before, I popped on Chris Jones. I want to see his stat. Not Chris Jones, the Titans corner. Chris Jones, the man-wrecking defensive tackle for the Chiefs. I want to see if he plays, because that does change some things.
Well, I go back to the AFC Championship game. I mean, Derrick, the last game that they lost in 2019, Derrick absolutely crushed Kansas City. And everybody wants to say that, Kansas City, they shut Derrick down is something that people say. I don't think that's true, because Derrick played really, really well early in the game when the Titans had a 17-7 lead. And then the Titans, they stopped Derrick on that one drive before the half when everybody knew he was getting the ball. Mm-hmm. And Patrick Mahomes kind of took over the game. And then in the second half, and I didn't think about this in live time until Floyd said it the next day, Andy Reid wanted to run the ball with Damian Williams and take the air out of the ball and run the clock because he was scared of Derrick. Yeah. Because Andy felt if they didn't do that, then all of a sudden the Titans could control the tempo of the game with Derrick Henry, and Andy was worried about what Derrick would do to them in the second half. Get a lead, take the air out of the ball, force the Titans into passing. That's what they did. I do wonder, though, if Kansas City's defense is going to kind of take that confidence that they had from when everybody tells them that they shut Derrick down in 2019, or if they're still good enough to be able to hold Derrick under 70 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that confidence is good, but at the end of the day, you got to go out and execute. Mm-hmm. And Frank Clark is another one dealing with, a little something. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I think first things first, you have to be at full personnel. And one of the things that they also do, you see Daniel Sorensen drop down in the box, and they bring Tyrann Mathieu down there too. And it really, the big thing against Derrick Henry is to have DBs that tackle. Well, Tyrann Mathieu will tackle. So that's an opportunity, though, when you bring these safeties down there like that. That opens up. Like, I would much rather have Tyrann Mathieu coming up and trying to stop the run than have him back there making plays in center field and all over the field. So what does that mean? Play action, another opportunity for that. These safeties don't bail out like the Bills do, but you still will have, middle of the field there. A.J. Brown, I would imagine that glance route that should be there for them.
TD's with us. Let's get your calls and texts in for TD. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. 615-737-1025. TD will answer your Titans questions, and we'll do that coming up next here on Stillman and Company on ESPN 1025 The Game. Tomorrow, it's your chance to participate in the Nashville SC Pick to Click, brought to you by Camarena Tequila. If you guess correctly which player scores a goal in the game on Saturday, you will win a 4-pack of tickets to an upcoming Nashville SC home game. Participate tomorrow morning at 9:45 a.m. Stillman and Company, we are delivered by TriStar Moving. It's the TD Power Hour on ESPN 1025 The Game.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
Throw the flag. Throw the flag.
All week long.
This is what the defense is, and we're okay with it as long as it's a big doggy.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Panera believes in saying yes to things, like the new sausage and pepperoni flatbread, crafted with rich cheeses. Order on the app today. Panera, live your yes. Restrictions apply.
Fiero Tequila Habanero is for those who enjoy the flavor of spice, naturally infused with fresh, vine-ripened peppers from farmers in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Fiero Tequila Habanero is unapologetically the spiciest infused tequila available in the U.S. The hand-picked habaneros provide a delicious kick to the smooth Blanco tequila. It's a flavor punch that's perfect as a shot or a spicy way to spice up your hard seltzer, or perfect for a fiery cocktail. Available at fine liquor stores and your favorite drinking establishments. Fiero Tequila, the world belongs to the brave.
Mortgage rates are on the move. Don't miss the chance to lock in the best rate of your lifetime with my friends at Loan Pronto. Hey, Willie Donick here. Call Loan Pronto today and take advantage of their super popular zero-cost refi program. So many people are doing this. You can get a rate with an APR in the low 2s with no junk fees, no closing costs. Yes, they pay your closing costs, even if you refinanced 6 months ago. Loan Pronto's all-digital process is fast and easy. Virtually no paperwork required. And most loans get closed in 14 days. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now and start the process. Don't wait on rates to spike again. If your current APR is over 2.75, call now for a free 30-second quote. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans eligible for zero-cost option.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
It's football season, and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. If your AC or heater is old and inefficient, you can replace it with up to 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. That's right, 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. One of the many ways you can save at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 6 months no interest financing available on repairs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering premium service without the premium price. Visit springhillac.com or call them at 615-778-8855.
Darren McFarland. That should get you in the mood for a game tonight. Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company, the TD Power Hour, presented by Freedom Tire Guys, Nashville's premier mobile tire company, online at freedomtireguys.com, and Crane Works and Rental Works. Time for me to stop talking so we can get right to the questions for TD 615-737-1025. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Ryan texts in and asks TD, says, do you agree with Jared that Caleb Farley is a wasted pick?
Absolutely not. And I think we have to get off this notion that you draft a guy for his rookie year. You draft him for a longer period of time. I think it's too early to say that he's a wasted pick. We have just this microwave mindset that we have to avoid, and I get it. There are some injuries. He had the ACL that he tore as a freshman at Virginia Tech. He had the back injury, and then, he got here. He had the shoulder. He had the ACL now, but I don't think that it's time to close the book and just say it's a waste of pick at all, because he has a lot of ability and can develop into a very good player. Is he giving you a rebound or a return on your first-round pick right now? No, and that is a bit of an issue, but I don't think it's time to dunk this guy all the way.
If the draft was today, where do you think he would go? What round?
I would say probably 4th or 5th. But, here's the thing. The draft isn't today, and that's a hypothetical that we're talking about. And, if the draft was today, there were a lot of guys that didn't get picked that would get picked now. So I think, dealing with the hypotheticals like that, I don't really do it.
My point was yesterday, I just don't think that the development of him into a great player is ever going to happen. Because there's a difference between a guy that has an injury, like an isolated injury, and a guy who is always injured. And I don't know how injury-prone guys get injury-prone, like Mariota, for example. That's a freak injury with the elbow, and it's a freak injury with the broken leg, and it's a freak injury with the quad. But ultimately, when you're injured, and then even this year, he got in one game and he got injured. Farley's that guy. He's injured like that. It's the shoulder, it's the back, it's the foot, it's the knee.
Let me just stop you. The back injury didn't happen playing football, correct? The back injury happened from improper technique lifting weights.
Right, but he still got hurt.
Yeah, but it didn't happen playing football.
Right, I'm just saying, though, injury-prone guys get injured.
Okay.
What's next?
Another texter texts in and says, TD, do you believe that we need to sign a pass-catching tight end since ours really aren't producing? Delaney, maybe.
As much as I would love to have Delaney come back, I think that train has just kind of left the station. But, I don't know if there's anybody out there that could come in and help you more than what these guys are doing. Obviously, David Njoku right there with Cleveland is an interesting option. Who knows? Well, with Gronk's status, I don't know if Cameron Brate would be available, but that's someone you could look at. End of the day, I don't think that you need to do that. I think what you have to do is just find more ways to get Anthony Ferguson the football. Maybe, work a little more like they showed that tight end bunch set that A.J. Brown had to catch on 4th and 2. Maybe get him incorporated in ways like that. I've seen them use him that way before. They said they wanted to use him in the red zone. It's not really happening. So I think maybe just further see what you could do with Ferguson.
And it's astonishing the number of times that we've had people text in and say, okay, I know we need a tight end. What about Delaney Walker?
Yeah, I'm almost like, I feel like that question comes up literally like 3 times a week.
It does. It comes up very often.
I mean, like, that ship has sailed.
I know
And
Titans fans love their Delaney.
I love Delaney. TD loves Delaney. He's a great guy, and he's great, full of quotes. And he was a great Titan, but, like, that ship has sailed.
Yeah. Well, another texter texts in and says, I'm worried that Miami Tannehill is back. It seems like the only passes he can complete are when guys are running wide open off of play action. TD, do you agree?
That is a good observation. And it's like, where's the deep ball? That's kind of gone. And not stretching the field isn't helping this offense execute. A good example of the lack of accuracy that I think the texter is referencing was that interception. If he throws that right off the bat like a laser to Julio Jones before the safety can come down and make that interception, that's a better throw, and that's a completion. But he kind of waited on it. It sailed a little bit, and you're seeing multiple passes sail on him. Now, I don't know if that's because the pocket getting muddy or what's going on, because there are times where he's had a clean pocket as well. I wonder where that guy was that was really killing defenses the way he did before, making the tight window throws, a much more precise passer.
Do you think that the lack of options plays into this? That Jonnu Smith's not there and there's not a Jonnu Smith replacement there, and that Julio Jones has been hurt and hasn't been what Julio, was going to come in and be, and so that Corey Davis option last year wasn't there, and that he's throwing to a lot of, I don't want to knock them, but they're 3rd, 4th, and 5th receivers.
Well, guys aren't getting as open. That's definitely something, but I don't know. I don't know what this accuracy thing is, because there are times where you see guys open, and like I said, the ball sails on him. Julio Jones was open.
Oh, yeah, that one, he just shot it over his hands.
The interception a couple weeks ago that where Julio Jones ran the slant, he had that one, a little high, and it was tipped, and it was intercepted. Those are the type of throws that you have to make. Those slants, that's top of the numbers to face mask. That's your placement on it. You got to help your guy out.
Another texter texts in and says, how did Kendall Lamb do subbing in for Lawan? Did we scheme in to help him, or did he hold his own?
He just held his own. I didn't see a whole lot of scheming in to help him. Now, I admittedly didn't focus on that left tackle position, but, he did have a couple blocks that to help out, in the run game. I don't – there's clearly a drop-off going from Lawan to Lamb, make no mistake about it, but – I don't think that was a big issue in that game. He didn't give up, really bad pressures or anything like that. I think Jerry Hughes got one, but that was on the screen. You know what I mean? So he held his own, in my opinion.
How close are we to seeing Dylan Radins play? I feel like there's nobody left now at tackle if something were to happen.
Yeah, the dominoes keep falling. At some point, we might see him. I don't know. I would say we're close. That's what Keith Carter said a couple weeks ago.
Another texter texts in and wants to know your thoughts on this, TD. This texter says, out of all the great running backs I have studied, Bo Jackson is the best comparison that I can come up with Derrick Henry.
I like that comparison. I think the running styles are just different. Bo Jackson, he really was running through folks, man. That's a good comparison. I'm going to stick with mine on Eric Dickerson. That's the comparison I make for Derrick Henry. But Bo Jackson, just the explosiveness and power he ran with, I could see that.
You know what I think, though? Nobody ever, once you become an official all-time great, nobody ever says, who are you like, or who do you like? No one ever says, who does Michael Jordan remind you of? Who does Magic Johnson remind you of? Nobody ever says that. And I think Derrick has entered that territory where there's never been someone that is exactly like him, that has all the things that he has at once and does it like he does. There's never been anybody like that. And that going forward, there will be some big back that comes out that wins a Heisman Trophy that they'll say, well, he's like Derrick Henry, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed Derrick had. I think Derrick's entered that territory, TD.
Very unique. I always joke. I say we're borrowing him from Mars, man. Like he's a different kind of. I don't know, man. That dude, what he does, it's just fun to watch. That's one of the things I enjoy most about covering this football team is watching Derrick Henry play. Week in, and it's just funny because like you'll see it, and you'll be, oh, there he goes. Oh, he's going to score. You know what I mean? And it's just so nonchalant. You just know it's going to happen. And you just got to kind of have your Derrick Henry story ready each and every week, man.
The one thing I'll say about this, and I don't know about you guys, I feel like I false start myself on big Derrick runs, especially when I'm watching on TV. It's a lot different in the stadium. But I'll be watching TV, and I see him break that first level, and I'm like, okay, there he goes.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh.
Yep.
And it's almost like, it's not even like the Titan fan in me. It's like here comes an 88-yard run in me that's like, everybody stop. Here it comes. And that's just, I mean, he's truly one of a kind. Check out TD's article on ESPN.com where he goes in deep with ESPN stats and info about, the kind of the timeline perhaps for Derrick doing some really incredible things. Also talking with TD. TD will be on the morning show, Robbie and Rex Road, where he'll need to educate Joe on some things, I'm sure, tomorrow as well. And, of course, we'll talk to TD Sunday before the Titans and the Chiefs. TD, appreciate you as always.
All right, appreciate you.
Oh, I have one more question for you, TD.
Okay, let's hear it.
After the Mets spent all that money, the Braves are one win away from the World Series. How do we feel?
I'm out of here. I told you asked the question. I'm hanging up.
I told him that on Monday that I forgot to ask.
I'll hang up and not listen.
So I had to ask on this one. There you go. TD, as always, he's the best, joining us on the program for the TD Power Hour. TD brought up something interesting, but I've got a question. I don't have a question. There's something that I am stunned by that has to do with Derrick Henry. I am stunned by it. And there's not a lot at this point that can stun me when it comes to Derrick Henry. We're live at Bridgestone Arena. FanDuel Sportsbook, my official sportsbook app. Week 7 is upon us, and there is a big matchup on Sunday between the Houston Texans and the Arizona Cardinals. And FanDuel is about to make it even bigger because my friends at FanDuel are giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. Now, I'm supposed to tell you which way I'm leaning, but it is Houston and Arizona. There's a reason they picked this game out of all the games on the schedule. I think you can figure out for yourself who to pick. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. So if you're new to FanDuel and you want to hit this out of the park, which is easy by betting Arizona, just sign up with the promo code JGM this week before Houston takes on Arizona. You can win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code JGM so they know that I sent you. Exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in a designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
The MTSU Blue Raiders live here.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee! 3-ball, yes, sir!
And when you're in the borough, tune us in on 97.5.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown!
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
102.5 The Game has your chance to win Preds tickets all month long. Just post a picture of your radio dial set to 102.5 The Game on social media and tag the game and use hashtag TicketDash to be instantly qualified. All brought to you by Social Furniture. Shop local. Shop social.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, the best training and training the best.
Are you interested in starting your own business? Join the Blink Law Entrepreneur Summit on February 2nd for their one-day event to help anyone start a business. Not only will you hear from experienced entrepreneurs from a variety of fields, but all attendees will also get a one-on-one consultation with an attorney who will register your business. You will leave the event with certified documents and an officially registered business. This is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to jumpstart a new business. For more information and to register, go to facebook.com/BlinkLawLLC.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live at Bridgestone Arena, where the Nashville Predators take on New York tonight. That's right. And, of course, all of our broadcasts here at Bridgestone Arena is brought to you by Hermitage, the Design Center, the professional source for lighting, hardware, appliance, custom kitchens, and baths on the web at gohermitage.com. So almost every year, there's a point in time over the last 2+ years now where we've said, is Derrick Henry an MVP candidate? And every time, the national media has come back and said, no. They've said no. 2 years ago, the Titans made it into the playoffs, 9-7. Derrick Henry won the rushing title, and the national media told us, you can't win with a running back. This is a passing league. You can't win with a running back. They played at New England in the playoffs, and everybody said, and I kind of believed this, Bill Belichick will take away what you do best. Bill Belichick will not let Derrick Henry win that game. I am sorry, no way, no how. Derrick Henry won the game. Then they played the Ravens. Derrick Henry dominated. Then they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC title game, and everybody said, aha, they couldn't beat the Chiefs in the title game, can't win with the running back. Then Derrick Henry did what he did last year. They kind of backed off that a little bit. Some of that still remains. Stephen A. said it the other day, but for the most part, most people think, yeah, you just beat the Buffalo Bills because of your running back. Yes, you can win with a running back. Then it was, can a running back be MVP? Last year, no. Because there was Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen and then maybe Derrick Henry, and they got into that game on Sunday Night Football against the Packers, and people were like entertaining the idea of Derrick Henry. Like, he was at the table, but he wasn't the main dinner guest. And then they lost that game, and it was like, see you, Derrick. By the way, Aaron Rodgers loses games too. He won the MVP last year. Patrick Mahomes has lost games, won the MVP. Lamar Jackson's lost games, wins the MVP. So Derrick Henry lost a game. See ya. they weren't taking it seriously. But what about now? Derrick's run for 2,000 yards. Derrick's carried a team deep into the playoffs. And now Derrick just beat the best team in the NFL, number 1 offense, number 1 defense in the NFL with 140 plus, 3 touchdowns. They won. So how does the national media feel now? Jason Fitz was on our show yesterday, ESPN Radio. Fitzy said that if he had a vote, that he would vote for Derrick Henry to be the MVP. Now, Fitz isn't the only guy in national media, but he said if he had a vote, he would vote for Derrick Henry to be the league MVP. I was watching Undisputed, Skip and Shannon, and I actually was on YouTube, and you know how they give you suggestions for what you should watch based on what you other have watched. And I don't know if it's because I watched Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, or if it's because I watched Derrick Henry stuff, but it was
probably
Shannon
a combo
Sharp.
of the two.
Shannon Sharp says Derrick Henry should be the MVP of the league. Then Skip Bayless chimed in on the same discussion. And you know, Skip, you know, he's never right. But Skip said he doesn't think Derrick's going to win the MVP, but that he wouldn't be against Derrick winning the MVP award. So the national media, Marcus Spears was pumping Derrick Henry's tires this week. And it's not Derrick is good. It's not Derrick is great. It's not Derrick's an all-timer. Those things have already happened. But now there are legitimate, big-time media personalities that are saying at the national level, Derrick's the MVP. I brought up to Jason Fitz, I think it's a 3-horse race right now, really a 4-horse race. Kyler's the best quarterback, is the quarterback of the best team. So he's going to be in the mix. Lamar is doing unbelievable things at Baltimore. They have had an incredible amount of injuries. I don't know how Lamar Jackson can't be in the discussion. Dak was on a team that was awful last year, although they were only 6-10. But it feels like that we watched so many of those Cowboy losses that we truly understand how bad they were. Dak was on a team that was 6-10 last year, is 5-1 this year, and Dak's playing great. And he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. So the quarterback of the Cowboys, because we watch all their games, the quarterback of the Cowboys is going to get noticed. And Fitz was like, yeah, no, I hear you. Derrick's my guy. And a lot of people are believing that Derrick Henry is the most valuable player in the league. It doesn't matter. I'm a local guy in Nashville. It doesn't matter if I say Derrick Henry's the most valuable player in the NFL. I think Derrick is the most valuable player. I think there are arguments that can be made for other guys. I think Lamar very much so is part of the discussion. But the local guy in Nashville is supposed to think that Derrick Henry is the most valuable player. I'm not a homer. I think everybody knows that. But the local guy that covers the guy is supposed to feel that way if it is applicable. But it's once the national media starts talking about it, and there are 2 awards that I look at and I say, okay, what they say on ESPN, what they say during TV broadcasts, what they write Peter King on Football Morning in America, that does matter. And it's the MVP award and it's the Heisman Trophy, because those awards are voted on by the media. And so everybody around the country is going to have their opportunity. I mean, the Derrick Henry when the Titans play the Rams, because they're both going to be decent with good records, and it's a Sunday night game, and I guarantee you this will get hyped up as Aaron Donald versus Derrick Henry. That's how they'll hype it up. And maybe they're right. Maybe they're wrong. I don't know. But if Derrick goes into L.A. and he runs for 125 and 2 touches and the Titans win, then he automatically becomes the front runner for the MVP award. There's still a lot of football left to be played. But the fact that this early, the national media is banging the drum for Derrick Henry for the MVP makes me think he's got a shot to be the league's MVP. That I think it's legitimate. And I think unlike last year where it was like, okay, who's MVP? Well, who's the best team? Rodgers. Well, you know, Rodgers is playing pretty well and is playing much better than he played last year. And they drafted that young quarterback. And, okay, they won a lot of games. Rodgers. This, I think, right now is Derrick's the front runner. Now, I saw the betting odds have Derrick 10th, which I thought was crazy. Like, Tom Brady is ahead of Derrick for league MVP, which I think is nuts. But I do think that once the national media starts getting the ball rolling and people start talking, and the national media is the definition of groupthink because they don't watch games. So they just watch whatever national game is on. So they'll watch the big 3:30 game that everybody watches. They'll watch Sunday Night Football. They'll watch Monday Night Football. But it's a lot of one guy says one thing, and then another guy goes, yeah. And then they start saying it, and then next thing you know, everybody's saying the same thing. I think this is real. I think Derrick's got a shot to be the league MVP this year. And not so much because people will say, it's a quarterback award. I thought about this. Adrian Peterson won it 8 years ago. Since then, there has been one guy that I think you could have argued at a running back position two guys at the running back position that could have won the award and didn't. Derrick last year and Todd Gurley in 2017. Those are the two guys that I think you can argue, hey, Todd Gurley could have won the MVP. I think they gave it to Brady that year. Todd Gurley could have won the MVP that year. Every other year, and then Derrick last year, every other year, I'm not sure there's been a running back that has been good enough to garner that award. This year, I think Derrick is very much in the mix. Again, if I had to rank them, Kyler is certainly going to be up there. Dak is certainly going to be up there based upon the success the Cowboys are having and the team that he plays for. Lamar should be up there and is probably going to be up there. The one thing Lamar has going against him is that he won it 2 years ago, and people don't like to give the award to the same person. Once you've won Coach of the Year, they don't want to give you Coach of the Year anymore. Then I think there's Derrick. Now, I'm sure Josh Allen could pass Derrick at some point. Who are some other quarterbacks that could get in the mix?
Justin Herbert.
Herbert could pass Derrick at some point this year. Derek Carr.
I thought Derek Carr, but
probably not. Still early, though.
That's true.
Still early.
It is.
Aaron, could probably pass Derek again. But again, they don't want to give it to the same guy again. And that's kind of where I look at Mahomes and Rodgers and Brady, and it's like, we've given it to them too much. Let's not give it. I think it's a possibility. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying I think it's a possibility because the national media is on board now for Derrick Henry in the MVP.
Oh, it absolutely is a possibility because Derrick Henry is on pace to do something unprecedented, something that has never been done before in the NFL. And I think that NFL MVP can be interpreted a few different ways because it could be who's the quarterback on the best team, who's the best player on the best team. Now, if you're looking at it through that lens, I don't think necessarily that Derrick fits those qualifications. But to me, in my mind, the NFL MVP means the person who brings the most to a team. That if you take that person away from that team has nothing, or that team would struggle very much so. And I think that Lamar fits those qualifications. I think Derrick Henry fits those qualifications. But I think Kyler Murray is a very attractive pick because he's a quarterback on one of the best teams in the league right now. And I think that you also have to look at the circumstances.
What about Prescott?
I think that also falls into circumstances, as that people would love the story of Dak leaves last season with a gruesome injury, comes into the season with another injury, and he still leads a team to a really good season so far, and he also plays for the Cowboys. Kyler, he was drafted first overall, had kind of a slower start in the league in his first couple of seasons, but now he's been able to lead his team to an undefeated season so far. It's always the circumstances and the stories that surround it as well. But I think Derrick has a very, very good shot at this award, especially being a running back. I think they could even work in his favor.
Rank it right now. Don't rank your how you'd rank them, but how you think the national media would rank it right now.
Right now, I think the national media would rank Kyler first, Lamar second, Dak third.
Dak ahead of Derrick?
And then Derrick fourth. Because I think the national media loves a quarterback and they love a Dallas Cowboy.
I think it's Lamar 1.
Okay.
Kyler 2, Derrick 3, Dak 4.
Okay. But we're thinking the same players in the top 4.
And I think that if Kyler was the best quarterback on any, and Kyler may win it, and he's playing great, but it's Arizona. It's like the Titans. They just also don't. And even though Kyler is, number 1 pick and people know who Kyler is, he's not the star Lamar is. Lamar is.
I don't know, though.
Oh, Lamar is a super So when's the last time Kyler played on Sunday Night Football?
But people, like, the national media loves Kyler.
They don't love him like Lamar.
We said it so much going into the season when neither of us were very high on Kyler. We said Kyler Murray is a media darling. And we said, even though because he plays for the Arizona Cardinals, the national media loves Kyler Murray.
See, I didn't feel that way. I always looked at like those Jeff Darlington lists that were league executives that would have Kyler ranked ahead of Tannehill and be like, what's that about? But not like ahead of Lamar.
No, not ahead of Lamar.
Like Lamar is...
Well, are you talking about who's the better quarterback or who's more beloved in the national media?
Beloved in the national media.
Well, I think...
The answer to both to me is Lamar. I think he's a better quarterback, and I think he's more beloved.
But I don't think it's significantly more than Kyler.
Oh, my God. I think it is so much more.
I don't.
Oh, my goodness. Lamar Jackson
The national media loves Kyler Murray.
More than Lamar Jackson? They talk about
I'm
Lamar
not saying
Jackson
that they love him more than
every
Lamar Jackson.
day.
I never said that.
But like, we're talking about.
But I don't think it's that much different. It's not like we're talking about, Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, my goodness. I think you are. I think this is, wow. I
would love to go back to a few months ago when you and I were both talking about how Kyler Murray is a national media darling.
No, we were talking about how people ranked him ahead of Tannehill. We weren't talking about how people thought like that he was more marketable than Tom Brady.
I never said he was more marketable than Tom Brady.
Like
you
Lamar,
just said that.
Lamar is in Tom Brady's class right now. Like the guys that they will bend over backward to put on TV. Dak, Lamar, Brady, Rodgers. Who else am I? I'm missing a couple others. Kyler's like in the Joe Burrow class. Like, Joe Burrow's good, and I'll watch a game that Joe Burrow's on.
I don't think so.
But I'm not. When's the last time Kyler played on Sunday Night Football?
I don't know.
Lamar plays on Sunday Night Football once a month. Like, Lamar is always on TV. At SportsCenter, they're arguing every day. Everybody says that anyone that says that Lamar Jackson isn't great is a racist. That happens like once a week on ESPN. It happened on Monday on ESPN or Tuesday on First Take when a linebacker from the Bengals said, yeah, he's like a running back who's also a quarterback, and Keyshawn Johnson lost his mind. They talk about Lamar Jackson like every day. He's up like he's up there with Dak and Josh Allen, and Allen is like just now creeping into the discussion.
I never said he wasn't.
But Kyler's not even close to those guys in terms of national media talk. Like Kyler,
I disagree.
Has Kyler even played a national TV game this year?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
You can't be loved by the media and loved by the country if you don't play in national TV games. They go out of their way to put those guys on national TV.
I think that you are being way too dramatic about this.
Dude, the Colts and the 49ers are on Sunday Night Football this week before Kyler Murray gets on Sunday Night Football.
Well, who was Kyler Murray playing this week? The Houston Texans.
They played some good games. They played the Rams.
Don't you dare.
They played the Rams.
Don't you dare pull that on me.
That was a good game.
Now all of a sudden you're a big Texans fan.
No. I said they played the Rams. That was a good game. When they played the Rams, like that was like a Rams are 4-0. They just embarrassed Tampa Bay. Cardinals are. But everybody else in the country is going to watch this other game instead because it's got Green Bay in it. I think it was Green Bay and the Steelers. Yeah, Green Bay and the Steelers was the game that we all got to watch, and nobody could watch Kyler versus the Rams. If Lamar played the Rams, I mean, they'd have a special time for that game. Like, that would be, we got to get that game in there. It's Lamar Jackson.
I never said anything bad about Lamar Jackson.
No, but you're putting Kyler, as far as the national attention goes, into the same zip code as Lamar, and that is wild and crazy.
Looks like Arizona has 3 primetime games this year. They haven't played them yet, but they will have 3.
So they're Thursday nighter that they'll have.
A Thursday and a Monday and a Saturday.
A Saturday?
They're going to flex them into a Sunday nighter. Surely, right?
That's actually Christmas. Against the Colts.
But
you know what? Christmas, Kyler Murray.
Go Kyler. 615 in that game. 615-737-1025. We'll do your calls next. Crispy later this hour as well. Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 1025 The Game.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
There's got to be a lot of confidence in the run blocking game right now.
All week long.
Derrick Henry always finds a way.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Panera believes in saying yes to things like the new grilled mac and cheese sandwich featuring mac topped with Parmesan crisps. Get $1 delivery when you order on the app. Panera, live your yes. Restrictions apply.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer with over 90 5-star Google ratings and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. While roofing is our business at E2, honor is our code. For roof repair, roof replacement, free inspections, or insurance claim assistance, visit e2roofingnashville.com.
Football is back, and Electronic Express has what you need to make the game bigger than ever. Bring the stadium to you with the best in-home entertainment from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. Watching the game on the go? Save big on laptops, tablets, and headphones. Plus, we have all your appliance needs up to 50% off, and get up to 36 months free financing. We've got you covered this football season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use. Only down payment and required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Choosing the right window treatments for your living space is serious business. Why struggle on your own when you can have the expertise of a seasoned design consultant in the comfort of your home, free of charge? For over 40 years, 3 Day Blinds has been making sure treatments have the perfect look to fit your style. We bring the showroom to you. We design, we measure, we install, and you relax. Right now, get 50% off the second treatment of select blind shades or drapery. Schedule your free, no-obligation in-home design consult. Visit 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Shannon, what shot do you give Derrick Henry of winning MVP?
Skip, I give him a very good shot because he's putting up monster numbers in a passing league, and now everybody throws the football. The quarterback's throwing out 4,500, 5,000 yards, 40, 50 touchdowns. He's on pace. Now, Edie has the record. Our own Eric Dixon has the record at 2105.
Yep.
In a 16-game season, Henry would be at 2,088. But there's an extra game, which puts him at 2218.
Yep.
Skip, he's 260 yards rushing, yards rushed ahead of Chubb. He's 5 touchdowns, at least 5 touchdowns in front of everybody else. So he's running away with it. Remember how he ran away with it last year. He was, over 400 yards clear of everybody last year because he went. So now we're going to put back-to-back, which we never thought we'd see, Skip. We never thought we'd see somebody go back-to-back 2K. And he's well ahead of pace of going back-to-back 2K. Skip, we just can't automatically concede that says, okay, the MVP has to be a quarterback. And I think that's what it's kind of turned into because I get it. The numbers are gaudy. You know, guys throwing for 5,500 yards. Peyton Manning broke the record with 54 touchdowns. And Brady and so I get the yardage, Skip. But in a passing league, for a running back to put up these kind of numbers, he might break the total touchdown record with LaDainian Tomlinson has that. So he might break the rushing record and the touchdown record in the same season.
Yep.
So, Skip, I think he has a great chance because of what he's doing in a passing league at the running back position. I think he has a great shot.
That was Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer, says great shot. Let's get to your phones because we got Crispy coming up, and Lord knows we need more of that in our lives. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I'm just kidding. I love you, Crispy. Let's go to Michael, who's going to kick us off here on Stillman and Company. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
We all get caught up in talking about, like, all these long-term records that Henry is on pace for or has already gotten his name in, where it's like, oh, this is only the third player ever since, like, OJ and Jim Brown to do X, Y, and Z in one game. But what are the chances, and I say this coming up this week because I think this is the only real game that has a legitimate possibility of it happening, what are the chances that he eventually, doesn't even have to be this coming week, breaks the single game rushing record of Adrian Peterson's 296? Because I say it's coming this week because I think the Chiefs are the only team on our schedule this year that has the firepower to match us on offense for him.
I mean,
to
do
stay
you
in the
realize,
game.
Michael, I appreciate the call. Do you realize how many yards 300 rushing in a game is? That's what you'd have to get.
And also, does Derrick need to be doing that? Like that, we are already concerned about Derrick's touches and his production in each game.
So he'd need to break
300 yards.
He'd need to break 3 big ones. And I thought he was going to do it last year. They played Indianapolis, and both Buckner and Autry were out with COVID. And I think he had like 120 at halftime. And I thought that there was a chance he was going to get to 300, and then they stopped giving him the ball. Craig agrees with Caroline and is up next here on Stillman and Company. Craig, you think Kyler Murray is as popular as Lamar Jackson?
Well, you're a little bit changing the question that you asked Caroline. I agree with her wholeheartedly. The question was the media is paying attention to, and you started putting words in her mouth and it was trying to compare him as a quarterback. I think he's probably the best quarterback in the NFL. But, dude, the media, Kyler Murray is like the shiny new toy for the media. They have been paying him as much, if not more, attention, if that's still the question. That was my only point.
No, Craig, I appreciate your call. I just completely disagree with it. I think you're more likely to see people talk about Justin Fields than talk about Kyler Murray right now.
I think Craig is a very intelligent and well-informed caller, so I really appreciate him calling in.
Okay, Floyd.
Yeah. I mean, but like I told you at the break, if Kyler Murray wins NFL MVP this year, I mean, he's going to be on that Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers level. Sure. The fact that he gets that much media love and hasn't had an NFL MVP campaign is saying a lot. Lamar's already won one.
Let's go to Gruff, who's up next. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Gruff.
Hi, Jared. I think the whole week leading up to the opening week against Arizona, you just said you were not scared of Kyler Murray. How did that work out? And you realized that he was a Heisman Trophy winner and was drafted by the Oakland Athletics, correct?
Why would I care about that? Eric Crouch won a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah,
Tim Tebow played minor league baseball. I don't know why I would care about that.
He's got an arm like a cannon, dude.
No, I mean, like, I'll say this. We talked about it on the show. Thank you, Gruff. We talked about it on the show, this idea of, can this be Kyler's breakout year? And I was like, I mean, I guess it can be. I wasn't seeing it, but it obviously has happened.
We underestimated Kyler Murray this season. I will be the first person to say that.
And I never underestimate anything. So, like, that is definitely...
Yeah, you are usually such a straight shooter.
Crispy is here. We will get to him next. I have some talking to do with Crispy. That is coming up. Terry Crisp will join us. Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tonight.
He scores! Matt Duchene wins it in double overtime!
Matt Duchene and the Nashville Predators conclude their homestand in Smashville against the New York Rangers.
The crowd gets into it, so it's pretty awesome.
Pre-game at 6, face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared. Your body needs water. That doesn't mean it has to be boring. And I'm here to tell you to give Focus a try. Focus is a sparkling water with a spark. It's infused with a boost of natural tea caffeine, so you get clean energy without sugar, calories, or crash. Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door. Enter promo code GAME at checkout for 15% off your first order. Focus is also available at your local Publix. That's Focus, P-H-O-C-U-S, on the web at drinkfocus.com.
With Fundbox, you can stop waiting and start doing. If your small business needs funds to grow, the time is now. Fundbox offers fast, easy access to small business funding up to $150,000. So hire that new employee, launch that campaign, buy that piece of equipment. Apply in minutes at fundbox.com, and you could get funding as soon as the next business day. Fundbox. Ready, set, grow. Credit line amounts, rates, and terms are based on creditworthiness and subject to change. Additional documentation may be required.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
If you snore, it may be a sign of a more serious, possibly life-threatening condition. Most people think of snoring as a nuisance, but it's a much more serious medical condition than you think. Snoring has been associated with chest pain, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, chronic pain, obesity, headaches, and sore throat. Take a listen to what some of our patients are saying about the revolutionary Vivo system.
Right after I started using it, I noticed the results really, especially with the snoring. My sleep apnea episodes are a fraction of what they were before. This product's phenomenal. It changed my life.
I am 100% happy that I did this, and I'm thankful every day that I have it.
If you're curious about our sleep devices, call now for a sleep consultation. Don't let your spouse have to sleep in the guest room, and don't risk the severe health complications of snoring and sleep apnea.
Dr. Kelly Rice is certified to provide the Vivo system to open the airway for a better night's sleep. Call 615-373-4488 or go to BrentwoodSleepApnea.com now to see which therapy can work best for you.
Individual results may vary. Always seek the advice of your health provider with any questions regarding a medical condition.
Tune in to ESPN 1025 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman and Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Every Saturday morning at 9, we hit the big topics. The Ally 400, Kyle Busch, frustrated, Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, and talk to the big names.
I'll go ahead and blame you.
Oh, I think it's big.
Could go a lot of different directions right now.
I was so impressed.
How cool that's going to be.
It's Chasing Checkers, Saturday morning at 9 on ESPN 1025 The Game and wherever you get your podcast.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
We are live at Patron Platinum Club, our brand new digs up here. We just hated Pete and Terry so much because every time we just saw pictures of Crispy and we didn't like it. So we decided we had to move out into our new studios here in the Patron Platinum Club, which will later be something else that I can't tell people, but it's going to be pretty exciting. Crispy, how are you today?
I'm great, and you finally confessed you're the one was putting the mustache on Pete and I, and Pete and Terry, on all of our pictures down there. We really appreciate it, by the way. yeah, God bless him. God, yeah, I can see him. Hey, I like your digs. You look good up here and whatnot. You stay here for a bit, or you guys like the little nomads, just moving around on and everything?
Oh, they kick us out as soon as we are off the air. Darren and those guys for the pregame show are like, get out of here. I want to start with this team.
Oh, so they send the B team after the A team leaves. You like that, Caroline? How's that?
Yeah, I like that. I would agree with that.
Good,
yeah.
Good.
Say it louder for the people in the back, Crispy.
So, Predators are 2-1. I'm going to say this. I am disappointed with the start, not because of the losing. I'm disappointed because I really wanted to see the Predators invest in the young guys, which they said they were going to do. And then they put them on the opening night roster. They put on Tomasino. They put on Glass. They put on all these young guys that, we're supposed to see. And then after one game, Tomasino goes to the bench. And Glass, after 2 games, goes down to Milwaukee. And they call up this kid Novak I've never heard of. I don't know, what his prospect level is, but I've always said, unless you're the best prospect, that, I'll worry about that later. They hyped up Rem Pitlick for so long, and now he's gone. So I don't get into the prospect talk, but I want to see the young guys play, and they're not playing the young guys, and I kind of feel like I need, we talked about this last week, I need to see him play. You said you wanted to see Tomasino play, and if things didn't go his way, what was his reaction going to be? But he plays 1 game against Seattle, and he goes to the bench. So I have a hard time with kind of what they're trying to do this year. And I wonder if you can look at it and say, okay, this is the plan for what they're trying to do. What do you see?
I like to sound like an expert. I like to sound like I'm a genius, and I'm not. I'm not in the inner workings of the dressing room. I'm not in the inner workings at the coaches' meetings. I just have what I see and what I want. And when I first came back this year for training camp and looking, I was excited because we'd do maybe what we do them more harm than good, hyping the youngsters. Mm-hmm. And we have a bad habit of doing, oh boy, they're going to come in. And if you recall, young Tobin, when he first came here, we put the pressure all on him, then Tomasino, and now the kid Glass, who none of us had before, knew him. So, and this only works if you get off to a good start and things happen. If you don't win, the coaching staff have got to win. And I'm telling you this right now, coaches, if they're not winning, they go back to the tried and true. Instead of staying with the youngster, whatever, you say, okay, let's go back to the guys that we know. Last year went against Carolina, et cetera. Go on down the line. They have to win. And what they're doing right now is the coaching, I think, is they're looking and say, okay, we got to win these games. So we can't keep experimenting if the experiments are going south on us or they're not exactly up to where we want them yet. So if they're not up where we want them yet, let's go with our tried and true lineups and try and win with them. And I think that's where we are right now. We want to win some hockey games. We got to get going and keep up with the pace of it. And if it takes the veterans. And having said that, being honest, let's be honest, some of the veterans didn't step up to the plate early going either.
Mm-hmm. Would you, because I understand what you're saying about how coaches have to win. I get it. Would you believe me if I was the manager or if I was the owner and you were coaching and I said, Crispy, I want you to play the young guys. I want you to develop the young guys. And if we lose this year, then we lose. But I'm not going to fire you, but I need to develop the young guys.
That'd be a dream.
You're one of the most.
Hey,
I promise not to fire you.
Yeah, I can't say that. I don't know what you're smoking, but you're not allowed to say it on the air, whatever. But I've been through that.
Competitive guys.
You know what? When you started down that line, I thought I know where he's coming from exactly.
Still get fired in the end, don't you?
And you know what? Unless you really. But I was coaching my first gig ever in the minor leagues, and we were sending in 2 teams. Boston and Calgary were sending me players. And we were down in Moncton, New Brunswick it was, and the owners down there and whatnot. So my mantra was from Boston and Calgary was, you are here to produce players for Boston and Calgary. So you will produce players. You will play our youngsters. You will play our goaltenders on down the line. Understand? Got it. That's the way you hired me. I can do it. We started like 5 losses, 1 win, another loss. I get a call from one of the bosses. What are you doing? What are you doing down there? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? He says, the owners down there are on the horn to me now the last 3 days. They're not happy. I says, well, I can understand. We're not winning. But he says, yeah, we're not winning. What are you doing? I said, you guys told me to play the youngsters. You guys told me you wanted players coming in. That's what I'm doing. Well, he said, you better start winning. I said, okay. Whoosh. I cleaned the board, swept it clean. No youngsters anymore, all veterans. All I wanted was guys with 4, 5, 6, 7 years experience. Poof, we started winning. Suddenly I was a genius again. Suddenly I was a great coach again. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that. It was just the way it goes, and that's the mentality of our game. That's it. And if you're going to play youngsters, you're right. You have to accept the fact that and have some patience. But again, the patience has to be the fact that you're winning while you're having this patience. And it's a double-edged sword. It really is. It's not a magic wand.
I mean, I understand. Like, I can empathize with almost all of this, right? Like, if this were my checkbook and I wanted people excited and I wanted people in the building, then I need to win some games because nobody wants to go and watch a 3-11-2 hockey club. And I understand that. And you're going to lose. It's like, Floyd used to talk about playing with rookie quarterbacks. You put a rookie quarterback in there, you're going to lose. Look at all the rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. What are they all doing right now? Losing. and so I get that. Like, I totally understand that. I just don't know with where this team is right now. Like, I know what Duchesne, Johansson, Forsberg, I know what those guys are. I know what Yossi is. I know what Ekholm is. And I know you can win with them. I do. And I know that Saros is a good enough goalie that if you got him enough firepower, you wouldn't have to be a great team in front of him in order to win a lot of games and maybe even make a playoff run because Saros can do that. I just don't know if they can get the firepower necessary to score goals if they don't develop 1 or 2 of these young forwards into a high-end type of
But the proof in the pudding is this, and let's be honest. Last year when we went to the minors and we brought up Jeannot, we brought up Olivier, we brought up Trennan, we gave Sissons more ice time.
Sure.
We brought in Carrier. We brought in Davies.
Which, by the way, was all by necessity because everybody got hurt.
That's exactly where I'm going with this. They had to play them. And look what we got out of it. But we were winning. And the guys kept going, and these guys fit in like a glove, and they made it happen. Right now, we don't have that burst of the herd coming in, the other ones.
Sure.
And what amazes me or surprises me more than anything was I was pumped up last year in the Carolina series. We lost it. Okay, a good team beat us out. But we took them to the wire. We took them right to the wire. It was, thank you. A fun series, a good series. We played hard. And I'm thinking, yeah, man, we're over the level now. Now, when we come back, we'll build off that. We'll take that and we'll run with that and go with all the teams. That little bite, that edge, that tenacity that we had has not popped into our team yet. And that's everybody, not just the kids coming up from the minors and the youngsters, but a lot of the other guys that we need that now. We need those guys back. The same guys in the jerseys that were there against Carolina last year are in the jerseys here right now. Same ones. Bring that attitude. Bring that thing back.
So do we need to go to Amazon and order a bunch of mirrors and just put them down in the dressing room?
No, one big one. I told you.
I don't want one.
No, because if you have one in each stall, they would combing their hair and fixing their eyebrows. You know what I mean? They got to look good on. No, that big one. When you walk out of the dressing room and you look at that big one and say, okay, what do I have to do to help my teammates win?
So a couple weeks ago, I was mad about something Mike Vrabel did. I'm not sure what it was.
Well, that's a surprise.
But I was mad about something. And I said on the air, I was like, I'm about to go buy a mirror, and I'm about to go put it in the coach's office, and I'm about to go tell him to look in the mirror. And I was thinking of you the whole time. What so far, and I know it's been like, this is the way I believe that this is the way they're going to play. You have to be okay with it. And I know you spent years doing games where Trotzy was coaching, and it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing to watch, but you won a lot of hockey games playing this style. Hines wants the forecheck. Hines wants you to be aggressive. Hines wants to play more of a defensive, kind of tough game. What have you liked through the first 3 games where they've been kind of similar? The difference is the Preds just got the 2 goals in the third period the other night, as opposed to the other games where they were giving up the big goal at the end of the game.
Probably the biggest thing I did like when we started out was we were pushing. We were aggressive. We were forechecking. We were going down, and we were playing as units. And then as we got along and things got tougher, and I said this on the air before, we became Lone Rangers. Suddenly everybody took the puck, and not that they meant to be selfish, but they're going to put the team on their back. They're going to do it. So we'd have one guy carry it out, lose it in the neutral zone. Next guy say, well, I'll get through the minefield. I'll carry it. Nope. We weren't give and go, the 8, 10-foot passes. Guys in the open ahead of you, give it to him. If you go by him, he gives it back to you. We weren't doing that. We were trying to do it all on our own. And Coach Hines addressed that openly on it and said, and the word you'll hear again is we have to work as units. Well, the units mean that everybody in the ice is available for the puck. And remember, I used to tell you this all, the Musketeer rule, 3 for 1 and 1 for 3 and all that? No. That's a package of you-know-what. It's 4 for 1. And the 4 guys who don't have the puck, it's their job to get available for the one guy who does have the puck. It's not the one guy who has the puck has to find somebody available. It's his job. No, it's the other way around. And that's what we have to do now. The open man gets the puck and he goes. Another open guy, he gets it and he goes. Move the puck.
Crispy with us. The one thing I like so far, I think Duchesne's playing hard.
I like their game.
I think that first line,
yes.
They're not going to be. It's not going to be like when the Jofa line was rolling and this team was the best team in the league, and it's never going to be like that. But I think that for all the angst that there has been surrounding Matt Duchene over the last couple of years, I think he's playing. I think he's playing hard. I think he's getting in, the tough areas, and I do think that what I've seen in the preseason and so far, he's putting the puck in the net.
I agree with you. Totally agree, and I agree that I'll say it later on I think, but 9 is fine. And Forsberg's number 9, Joey's 92, and Duchene is 95. And if you want to throw my captain in, he's 59.
Oh.
So 9 is fine. And when our 9s are playing, we're fine. We're in business. And the 9s are playing now. That's what we need. They'll bring the rest. We'll get the herd back on track again, get them thundering up and down the ice. Because we sure as heck have goaltending. Saros has more than done his share.
Crispy, always good to see you. We will see you tonight
that means
on
I'm
the
off.
broadcast.
I'm gone. I'm booted out. You haven't got to say hi to Carolyn.
Well, we got to yell. We
can chat later.
Can we chat later?
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
got
girl.
plenty
Okay.
of time.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Crispy around the neighborhood in a while either. I mean, it's, Terry Crisp, as always. Crispy, appreciate you, brother.
Anytime, have me up.
We love Crispy. Even though we're not in his bar anymore. We're not in his bar. And, it used to just be.
There goes my gallon.
It used to be like, to me, Crispy and Floyd together off the air. It used to be like, the old coaches club where they would just sit there and kind of gossip about the things that, hey, if I was coaching still, that was, and they didn't say it, but you felt it. You felt it that they were doing radio and doing TV because they weren't good enough for coaching anymore. But they knew. Everybody I know says, what's Crispy think? Whenever it comes to anything, the same way they said about Floyd. And I need great coaches if you want to buy a car, because my friends at Edmunds can take great care of you. Buying a car can be overwhelming, especially now that demand is back and in full swing. Lucky for you, Edmunds has been taking the stress out of car shopping for over 50 years. Edmunds editors drive over 500,000 miles every year, testing thousands of hours on hundreds of new vehicles. They review almost every car on the market and rank the best ones in each category, and Edmunds makes it easy to find options in your area with accurate price estimates. They have helpful filters so you search by color, model, special features, engine type, drivetrain, price, distance, and more. They even show dealerships that are offering home delivery. Edmunds is here to guide you to your perfect vehicle. Visit Edmunds.com to see their best car rankings and search for vehicles near you. That's EDMUNDS.com for cars. There's Edmunds.
It's game day in Smashville. Brought to you by Hermitage, the Design Center.
Sissons put it down in front. It's put away by Canner.
The Preds look for another 2 points when they host the Rangers.
There's really good teams in this league, and you got to fight every night to win.
Pregame at 6, face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Some people think fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Willie Donick here. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biologic therapies that help restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints with lasting results. So if you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. So call now to schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. Tired of dealing with joint pain and want to get moving again? You need to learn more about how biologic therapies are changing the way we think about dealing with joint pain. It's exciting stuff, so don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024.
Richard Mosqueda spent 3 months shopping for a diamond and ended up buying one from a New York company online.
I looked online forever. I looked everywhere, and I finally found a great deal.
Well, he thought it was a great deal until he took the stone over to Genesis Diamonds to compare it with a Genesis stone.
And then I brought it here, and they gave me a better price and a better quality. The quality was so much better, and the price was so much better, you couldn't beat their price here.
So Richard boxed up the online diamond, got his money back, and bought the Genesis diamond. Not only did he get a better deal and a better diamond, he got lifetime service at no charge.
To me, there's a value to having a local place that says that we'll take care of everything. We'll clean your ring, we'll size it, and online you can't do that. And on top of that, they had to get the guarantees here and the warranties here were unbelievable.
Genesis Diamonds, where Nashville gets engaged.
Genesis is the best. They'll work with you, the customer service is unbelievable, and you can't beat the price.
Voted year after year as the best place in Nashville to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
You don't need to go anywhere else, just go to Genesis.
Genesis Diamonds.
Hey Nashville, get ready to party Smashville style. On February 26th, the Nashville Predators will make history with the first ever outdoor NHL game in Tennessee as they host the 2022 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series. The Preds will take on the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in front of 70,000 rockin' fans. Visit NHL.com/Stadium Series tickets.
Stanley.
Coming in off the water. Yeah. Coming in there to tailgate.
Joe Rexrode.
That was fun.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is on. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
We are live at Bridgestone Arena. We love being here. Big game tonight for the Preds and the New York Rangers. But first, it's time for headlines with Caroline.
We're spanning the sports world. It's Headlines with Caroline on Stillman and Company, right here on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Headlines with Caroline, presented by Firo Tequila, the spiciest infused tequila on the market, where the world belongs to the brand.
The Dodgers, your favorite baseball team this week, right?
Hey, man, hey. I'm not counting the Dodgers out. I mean, we're up 3-1. And I'm feeling nice, but I know not to get my hopes up with the Braves, so I ain't counting the Dodgers out.
Knock on all the wood. The Dodgers all-star third baseman Justin Turner
he
is
done gone.
likely out for the rest of the postseason with a hamstring injury. So last night he was running toward first base, and you could see him kind of slowing down.
Oh, he's not likely out. I mean, he's out.
I mean, I'm not going to say that because it hasn't been reported yet, but yeah.
Well, they're going to replace him on the roster, and if you get replaced for an injury in a playoff series, you're ineligible in the next series. So, which would be the World Series. So he's done, regardless, whatever. But, I mean, that hamstring pull, I mean, he was in tears in the dugout.
Yeah,
like,
he limped off the field, and you could tell.
Awful.
You could tell
Awful.
It was something very, very bad. So now the Dodgers are back 3-1 to the Braves in the NLCS without their third baseman. That's not the only injury that the Dodgers are dealing with right now. Starting pitcher Clayton Kershaw has been out since the beginning of October with a forearm and elbow injury. First baseman Max Muncy out for at least through the NLCS with an elbow injury as well that he suffered on the final day of the regular season. So the Dodgers are getting a little bit shallow.
I'm going to say this. Cry me a river. Ronald Acuna Jr., not in our lineup. Marcell Ozuna, domestic abuse, not in our lineup. Mike Soroka, torn Achilles, not in our rotation. So last year we had to play the Dodgers with no pitching, and we ended up losing in 7 games. And I hate this because I want to beat the Dodgers fair and square.
Yeah.
But this is baseball. This is sports. It is
the
attrition.
postseason.
It is a war of attrition. And so I am not counting any eggs that have hatched for the Atlanta Braves. And when we get to Caroline's, I will probably pick the Dodgers again tonight, as I did pick the Dodgers yesterday.
It's good juju.
If I were a neutral observer and not a diehard Braves fan who has had their heart taken out, cryogenically frozen, and then taken with a sledgehammer and smashed into 5 billion pieces.
Awfully graphic.
25 times over a 32-year lifespan.
That's a lot.
If that wasn't the case, and I was just a neutral observer, I'd say there's no way the Dodgers can come back down. 3-1 with the Braves with Max Fried pitching, and then Ian Anderson's going to go the next day, and then Charlie Morton's going to go if there's a Game 7, and the Braves are hitting the ball much better than the Dodgers right now. The Braves bullpen right now is better than the Dodgers, but I'm not neutral. I'm a Braves fan. I know better. I'm not getting into it. What's next?
I am neutral, and I feel like it's pretty signed, sealed, delivered, but I will knock on the wood for all of the Braves fans.
I mean, outside of one inning, the Braves have they haven't dominated because there's been some extra inning games, but the Braves have been in control of this series outside of one inning.
Game 3, 8th inning. I mean, at this point, the Braves could already finish the deal.
Sure.
But also, speaking of injuries, Colts safety Julian Blackmon will miss the rest of the 2021 season after suffering a torn Achilles. He sustained this injury in practice on Wednesday. So far in the season, he has 1 forced fumble in 6 games. And I hate to see an injury happen to anyone. And I know that the Titans have plenty of injuries that they're dealing with on their own. But any sort of advantage the Titans may have in the AFC South feels like they already have it pretty much locked up. Knock on wood again. But this is just another nail in the coffin.
Give me 2 weeks. Here's my question to everybody about Indianapolis. Are the Colts, is there any chance the Colts could be a good team this year? Not could they have a good record. Not could they, win the division if the Titans are terrible. But like be a good football team. We've seen good football. We know what good football is. Like right now, Kansas City, and I'm not knocking them because they could come in here and drop 55 on the Titans and beat them. They're not playing good football right now. Like, they are not playing good football. Do the Colts have any chance of being a good team this year?
You know, it's still early in the season. But from what I have seen from the Colts and from what I know about Carson Wentz, I don't think I see that happening. No, I don't think that they're going to fall behind the Texans or the Jags, but I don't see them coming out and emerging as this breakthrough team in the middle of the season.
I don't either. Like, that's what makes it hard for me. We have this one texter who texts in every day. Anytime we talk about the Colts, this guy texts in and is like, you guys aren't selling the Colts enough, giving the Colts enough credit. And it's like, I mean, like, I don't think the Colts are very good. Like,
I'd be happy to give credit where credit is due. If I did think that the Colts were able to turn things around, if I did think that Carson Wentz was a good quarterback that was able to lead this team, I just don't think that.
I thought going into the year that they weren't going to win the division, but with 7 teams that would make it out of the AFC, I thought surely that they'd be one of them. I don't think that they have any shot at a wild card. I don't think that they're as good as the Raiders. I don't think they're as good as Pittsburgh. I don't think they're as good as, like, that middle tier of the AFC. Like, I think the Colts are with the Patriots right now. And I would take the Patriots if they played the Colts today. I would take the Patriots to win. What's next?
Some good news on the college football side of things. Georgia assistant coach Scott Cochran will make his return to the Georgia staff for their game against Florida this weekend. So he took more than 2 months to be away for personal health reasons, and he will stay on the staff in an off-the-field role after he was the special teams coach. But Kirby Smart says he's back with us officially, happy to have him back, hoping to keep him safe and healthy throughout that recovery process. So Will Muschamp has taken over the special teams duty and will continue to do so as Scott Cochran kind of makes his way back into Georgia football and back into his role. But happy to see him back after a personal health leave.
Scott Cochran is the only strength coach in the history of the Southeastern Conference who has been in a commercial. Because I think it was a Regions Bank commercial where he was in there yelling at Saban or something like that. Remember, he used to be the Alabama strength coach.
Yep.
So the guy, the fourth quarter program where I'm not saying that Derrick Henry got big because of the Scott Cochran program, but I don't think the Scott Cochran program hurt Derrick Henry. And he was a big asset to Alabama. He made a lot of money as the strength coach at Alabama. And your strength coach in the SEC is your second most important coach behind your head coach because he's the one guy who deals with every player. And the players have to be able to trust the strength staff. And so Cochran, everybody loved him at Alabama. They hired him away at Georgia to be a special teams coach because that's the only way they could hire him. I mean, he couldn't make a lateral move, so he had to be an on-field coach. Now, I don't know what happened with the health thing, and I do, to your point, I hope he's okay too. But my guess would be, and I don't know how Kirby feels about a strength coach, but Cochran's probably going into the strength department if I had to take a guess. And you would think that that's crazy that a strength coach could be a special teams coach, but Floyd Reese used to be a strength coach. He was one of the first strength coaches in the NFL and then later became special teams coach. So you wonder if that was maybe the route Cochran was trying to go. But, that's a big name in SEC circles.
Yeah.
Scott Cochran and what he offers.
A very respected name.
And Georgia right now is not hurting too much. Those are Headlines with Caroline. Headlines with Caroline presented by Fiero Tequila, the spiciest infused tequila on the market. The world belongs to the brave. Things are going good for the Titans right now. They just beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. They have the Chiefs. That's right, the Chiefs. They've got the Chiefs coming up this weekend. But is there one thing about the Titans? And I don't want to think this is true, but I'm worried about it. And I think a lot of fans are worried about it. We'll get to that next. Here on Stillman and Company, live from Bridgestone Arena. Week 7 is upon us, and there is a big Sunday matchup between Houston and Arizona. FanDuel Sportsbook, my official sportsbook app, is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. That's right. So you've got your same-game parlays that you can put in there, you name it, whatever. But, guys, I think Arizona's going to win. I could be wrong.
Hot take.
I think they're going to win. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you get paid in as little as 24 hours. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Just sign up with the promo code JGM this week before Houston takes on Arizona, and you could win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code JGM so they know that I sent you exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in a designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Did you see the Tennessee Titans? He has all the weapons to make it happen.
There's so much to pay attention to. Greeny from 9 to 11.
Ryan Tannehill is the most disrespected player.
Art and Han from 11 to 2.
You never stop punching. They've got to learn how to close the deal.
And the Paul Feinbaum Show afternoons from 2 to 6.
Are these legitimate contenders to the party?
Your exclusive home for ESPN Radio in the Music City.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
Your home value is way up this year, and with mortgage rates back to all-time lows, it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. Refinance now and get cash out of your home's equity. Hey, it's Willie Donick. Loan Pronto can refinance your loan at a super low rate. They can pay the closing costs for you and get you a bunch of cash out. How does $40,000 or $50,000 sound? Don't just sit on that home's new value. Use it. Use it to pay off credit cards. Use it to consolidate other debt. Get rid of PMI. Use IT to make your home even more valuable with that home improvement project you've been dreaming about. Loan Pronto's all-digital platform makes it fast and easy. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Ask about the Loan Pronto zero-cost cash-out refi. LoanPronto.com, 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Zero cost option not available on all loans.
Hey, it's Jared. A lot of guys don't really think about the daily use that they have for their sheets. They think like, oh yeah, they're sheets. It's not that big of a deal. And then you sleep on bad sheets and you realize, I want to make sure that I go ahead and get the best sheets I can. That's why I'm here to tell you about my friends at Bull & Branch. If you dream of a comfortable sheet at a price that will not keep you up all night, look no further than Bull & Branch. I don't want you to sleep on one of those ones where you get a rash or you turn over all night or you just are miserable when you wake up in the morning. That's why I love my Bull & Branch sheets. I absolutely love. They have all the different colors and they're so comfortable. It feels like I'm sleeping on a cloud. I absolutely love the signature hem sheets from Bull & Branch. Experience the best sheets you've ever felt at bullandbranch.com. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use the promo code Jared at checkout. That's Bull & Branch, BOLL, and branch.com. Promo code Jared.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live at Bridgestone Arena, pregame in less than an hour. Preds and Rangers tonight. 102.5 The Game. Preds Game Day broadcast is brought to you by Hermitage, the Design Center, the professional source for lighting, hardware, appliance, custom kitchens, and baths. On the web at gohermitage.com. We got a great sports night tonight. We got baseball. Maybe the Braves will get their way in there. We got a big Preds game tonight. We got great sports. And because Monday Night Football shortens the week, you got the Bills on one side, you got the Chiefs on the other side, and it is exciting.
It's a fun week.
And Titan fans should be excited, and I'm excited. Like, if you're one of these people who's like a Titan, Preds, Vols, Braves fan, like this is the time to be alive. Just don't throw any mustard on the field or anything on the ice, and you should be okay. But that doesn't mean that there aren't concerns. And there is a concern surrounding Ryan Tannehill. And I have been critical of Tannehill this year. And I'm not trying to be critical of Tannehill. I loved Tannehill after his second start against the Buccaneers. I was like, this guy's playing great. In fact, his stats that game weren't even good. And I know this because I was listening to an old Jared and the GM podcast a couple of weeks ago. And in that podcast, I was talking and the callers were saying that the numbers weren't good. And I was like, I don't care about the numbers. Tannehill was awesome. Tannehill's so much better than Marcus. Tannehill's this, Tannehill's that. And at one point, Floyd, who doesn't care about numbers, Floyd just goes, well, you don't like the numbers because they don't fit what you're trying to do. But those numbers are not very pretty now. And I was like, I guess those numbers are pretty bad anyway. But so I've been a Tannehill supporter. And after he took on those two guys and they beat the Jags, I was like, he's the guy. He's the next starter of the Titans. And I was Tannehill over Brady. And Tannehill's performance in the playoff game against the Ravens, I had a problem with. But he was great last year. And I thought you could win a Super Bowl with that guy at quarterback. This year, the decision-making from Tannehill has not been good enough. And TD brought it up in the TD Power Hour earlier that the accuracy right now is not good enough. I mean, here's the thing about Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is not going to be like Patrick Mahomes, who runs around and avoids tacklers and uncorks a 70-yard rocket down the field to his unbelievably fast wide receiver for a touchdown. He's never going to be that. But Tannehill should get you in the right plays. Tannehill should be able to elude defenders if he needs to run. Tannehill should be able to put the ball on the money and find the open guy. And he should be dynamite in the red zone because that's the Tannehill that we got used to. And he hasn't been that way. Chris Sanders, former Titans receiver, was on our show yesterday, and I asked Chris, what do you make of what we're seeing from Ryan Tannehill right now? Here's what Chris said.
Right now, he just looks uncomfortable in the pocket sometimes. And as being a quarterback, going for any quarterback, if you're consistently getting hit, and you're consistently getting hit from the blind side, and you fumble 3 or 4 times, you're going to focus so much to try to protect the football. And I think that sometimes he wants to make the right read, which you do, that his eyes are not looking at your second and third read. Because if you look at that interception that he threw to Poyer, he's staring down the receiver. And if you're staring down the receiver, you're so cautious of not making the mistake. So I just think if he just relaxes and plays like he did last year and have that confidence, I'm not saying he doesn't have confidence, but I just think he needs to go out there and feel easy, being in the pocket. And I think the reason why he may not feel easy in the pocket is because he doesn't know if he's going to get hit or he's going to get a strip sack and all those things. So those are the things that he's probably thinking in his mind. But at the end of the day, he's got to stand in there, take some shots, and deliver the ball as opposed to fumbling and making interceptions.
So Chris says he's not comfortable in the pocket. Last season, Ryan Tannehill threw 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So that means basically 5 touchdowns for every pick. This year, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's not good.
It's not good.
He says it's the protection. I thought the protection on Monday night was pretty decent, especially compared to what it had been.
On Monday night, it was pretty decent.
Now, I'm going to give you every excuse in the book that's possible for Tannehill. Number one, I think without Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis, because Julio Jones is hurt right now, without Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith, Ryan Tannehill is over-reliant on A.J. Brown and doesn't really have anybody else in the passing game that he truly trusts. So he's got A.J. Brown. Like last year, he had A.J. Brown, who was not as hurt as it appears that A.J. is hurt right now, and now the food poisoning and everything else. A.J., Corey, Jonnu Smith, Anthony Ferkser in pass situations, Jeremy McNichols, Adam Humphries until Humphries got concussed, Khalif Raymond, who had been on the team for a year and he had practiced with, and that was what he had. This year, he's got A.J. Brown, Jeremy McNichols, who's third? Chester Rogers. There's not one tight end in there that is in the role that he needs them to be in. There is not. So that's my first excuse. My second excuse is the offensive line. Now, I think this is essentially the same line last year. The line last year was this line, Dennis Kelly at right tackle. It's now this line, David Quessenberry at right tackle. It's pretty much the same line.
But was Tannehill getting sacked 7 times a game last year?
I can't remember for sure. I'm going to say no, but it was the same line. You know, it was the same guys.
But
so
it's not necessarily the same protection.
The drop-off from Kelly to Quessenberry is not that large. Like, this is the same line that got Mariota sacked 9 times in a game.
But it's not the same protection.
What do you mean?
Like, there's no protection for Tannehill. Monday night was different.
I mean,
Monday night he did not get sacked. I think Monday night the offensive line did their job and they did a good job. But throughout the season, we've been complaining about this offensive line because they do not protect Ryan Tannehill. He got sacked several times a game. If I'm Ryan Tannehill, I'm going to be a little bit spooked as well.
So I actually put some of the blame on getting sacked on Tannehill.
You can.
Which,
he's
like,
held
in the
on
Jets
to the ball
game,
a decent amount of time.
In the Jets game, everybody was responsible for certain sacks. Josh Reynolds has not panned out to what he was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a tight end. I mean, hard to look at Tannehill in the red zone and say, you know, your top red zone target, Jonnu Smith, is gone. So what do you do there? The other thing is Downing. And, I mean, TD was talking about how great Downing was on Monday night. I mean, look, I think this is what I think happened. Derrick Henry ran the ball like a monster, and that opened up the play-action pass. Everybody was singled up. Tannehill would play-action pass. They'd run A.J. to the open spot. He'd beat his man. He'd just throw it over the middle to A.J. That's what they did. It was not like, you know, this, wow, what a great, they didn't see that one coming. There wasn't really a whole lot of that. I mean, there was a pass that Jeff Swaim caught where he literally just stood there, caught it, fell backwards and fell down. And people were like, what do you think now of Swaim, Jared? Ah. I'm like, anybody could have caught that pass. I thought the thing Downing did that was really good when McNichols got hurt was instead of leaving Derrick Henry in passing situations to pass protect, he used Kari Blasingame, and I thought Kari Blasingame was great in pass protection. And I do think that they need to start throwing the ball to Kari Blasingame more often because they don't have a tight end, and they need guys that they can catch the ball, and we've seen Blasingame over the years catch a couple big ones. But those are all the excuses, right? The coordinator, the offensive line, the lack of receivers, and I think they're all valid. But I'm still not sure that that's the problem with Tannehill. I almost wonder if Arthur Smith was so smart about how to put Tannehill in the right position that without Arthur Smith, Tannehill is, as a texter was alluding to earlier today, reverting back to some of the Miami problems that he had. Now, I didn't watch Tannehill every week in Miami, and I'm not going to pretend that I did. I watched them when they were on TV, and I watched them when they played the Titans. Now, they had a game here, which I thought should have got Ken Wisenhunt fired, where Ryan Tannehill looked amazing. He hit some deep balls on Malcolm Butler at the beginning of the 2018 season. But Ryan Tannehill left a lot to be desired from his time in Miami. And he has been night and day better, the most efficient passer maybe ever, like Joe Montana level, with Arthur Smith as his coordinator, and now he's not. So that's kind of the question I had. Chris says that he thinks it's the line or he thinks it's the protection that Tannehill is struggling with. I understand that. I do wonder, though, because they change all these guys out all the time, and it doesn't affect Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter who plays left tackle. It doesn't matter who plays right tackle. It doesn't matter who plays left guard. It doesn't matter who plays wide receiver. It doesn't matter who plays other than the quarterback position. And even then, Derrick racked up some big numbers with Mariota at quarterback. Other than the quarterback position, I don't see a single position on the field that has affected Derrick Henry the way it feels like all of these things seem to have affected Tannehill.
Well, different position. And also, I would say that Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill are at different skill levels in their respective positions. I would say that Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL right now. I would not say that about Ryan Tannehill.
We argued that Tannehill was a top 10 quarterback almost every day during the offseason.
I would say last season he was a top 10 quarterback.
Do you think Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback right now?
No, I don't.
Absolutely not. And here's the thing. Like Joe Rexrode. I mean, I love Joe. I really do. And I mean this with total sincerity. So, like, when some people say, hey, you and Joe get on each other, like, you know, do you guys really hate each other? And every time we're like, no, we don't really hate each other. And I don't hate Joe by any means. But Joe says some ridiculous crap sometimes. And like nobody ever, like everyone gets all up in a hubbub when I say something. Joe, I mean, he is beating the drum, just this. He is just banging the drum about Tannehill was 9 of 9 in the fourth quarter, and they wouldn't have won that game without Tannehill. I'm like, Joe, those were easy passes.
But he was 9 of 9. I mean,
but
Joe's not wrong.
There's not a fourth quarter if Derrick Henry doesn't keep you in the game. There's not a fourth quarter. And so, like, I can't, this Sunday, you don't get 3 quarters to get warmed up. This is the NFL. You're a $30 million quarterback. He was good for 1 quarter. I don't care about that. That's beneath the level of expectation that I have for the quarterback. And I'm a Tannehill guy. I am. But I think early on when I saw some of these red flags with Tannehill, people were like, you just bashing on Tannehill. You're just ripping on Tannehill. And now I think people are starting to see some of these things with Tannehill, and I think they're starting to get a little concerned too, just like Chris was. And, I mean, you can't do this where you go out there and play the first half that he played. You can't do that on Sunday against Kansas City. And the bigger issue here, though, is why? Like, what is wrong? Like, what's the problem here with Tannehill? Is it the receivers? Is it the coordinator? Is it the fact that the line, I guess, isn't as good? I mean, why?
You mentioned Todd Downing, and that very well could be the case. I don't know if the issue is Todd Downing or the issue is that Todd Downing is not Arthur Smith. Because you mentioned a few weeks ago on the show that Arthur Smith's top priority was designing plays that were able to kind of cover up some of Tannehill's weaker spots.
Sure.
He capitalized on Tannehill's strengths, and he learned Tannehill very well. And I think that's the issue, because Todd Downing has done a fine job at offensive coordinator. But Arthur Smith was able to find those things, kind of some of Tannehill's bugaboos, and he was able to kind of cover them up a little bit and capitalize on what he really did well.
Are you concerned about Tannehill?
I don't know if I'm concerned. I would say, Tannehill's stat line, the way that Tannehill has kind of performed the past few weeks, absolutely has not lived up to what he has done in 2020 or what he did in 2019. I don't think I'm going to be concerned yet, but it is something that I have noticed that Ryan Tannehill has not been performing like a top 10 quarterback after we have been saying all summer that Tannehill deserves that top 10 nod.
Ian, are you concerned with Tannehill?
I don't know. I think maybe a little bit, only because I do think a lot of it does have something to do with the lack of kind of some wide receivers and some weapons at times. Throughout, AJ missed some time, Julio's missed some time. I mean, pick a quarterback, you lose your top 2 wide receivers, the numbers will go down, especially given the fact that this is not necessarily an overly heavy passing team anyways. And you take away some, there's probably quarterbacks, obviously, that would be able to make it happen regardless. But I do think if you take away your 2 best pass catchers and your, Jonnu, as you mentioned, I do think that plays a role.
I think that Ian's right. I think that all things are true. Mm-hmm. I think Downing is not as good as Arthur, which that may not be a knock on Arthur, or a knock on Downing. It may just be the fact that Arthur was that good. Mm-hmm. I think that the receivers have been out. And I watch Julio. He's not healthy. Like, he's hurt. And so he's not giving you the Julio thing. And
they also didn't get the time to practice in training camp.
Yeah, but I think
I know we're in week 6. We're in week 6, but then Julio was hurt.
But I think it's those things. And I'll say this on top of that. I believe, and I don't want to say being babied is the right word. I believe that Arthur took the bad decision-making that we can see sometimes, like the bad reactions sometimes Tannehill has, that for the most part, Arthur kept him away from falling into those habits. And I do wonder if he's starting to fall into some of those habits as well. Let's get to your phones on it, 615-737-1025. Plus, Tannehill seems to get a little, I don't want to say a little fed up with the media, but I think he can tell you that he's tired of answering this one question, which I think is pretty telling. And Joe had a doozy of a take. I mean, a doozy today. And I don't know if anybody else noticed it, But we'll get to that coming up next. 157371025. We are live from Bridgestone Arena, where the Predators take on New York tonight, right here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Join us for Light the Night. As we partner with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Nashville's Light the Night will be virtual and take place on November 4th. Learn more at lightthenight.org/TN. Caroline wants to tell you about BetUS.
I want to tell you about my favorite sports book, and that is BetUS. Hockey season is back. We're at Bridgestone Arena. We've got a hockey game tonight here in Nashville, so get in on the action and do it with BetUS. They've been America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years, and that is exactly why I endorse BetUS, because they have integrity, they have longevity, they've been around a long time, so you know that when you win on BetUS, you are going to get paid. Plus, they have everything. They have live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, all kinds of crazy prop bets. Anything you want to put money on, you can do it with BetUS. So call them today, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Their number is 1-800-79-BET-US. Just call 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives bigger bonuses than BetUS. You can get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit if you use the promo code GAME, G-A-M-E. Nobody in the industry beats that. I bet at BetUS, and so should you. So go now to BetUS.com. Join today. Put in promo code GAME, G-A-M-E, for a sign-up bonus on your first deposit. That is BetUS.com.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
Throw the flag. Throw the flag.
All week long.
This is what the defense is, and we're okay with it as long as a big doggy.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Announcing a rare opportunity for huge savings. If you're in the market for replacement windows or doors, Saturday, October 23rd, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is having an open house, offering 10% off all merchandise. That even includes 10% off their current special offers. Mark your calendar and stop by the Pella Windows and Doors in Cool Springs, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for these great deals. Bring your measurements or snap a picture of your replacement needs and come to Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville.
Saturday means college football. Turn heads at the tailgate by showing up with plenty of frosty, refreshing Dos Equis. With its Pilsner style and smooth, clean finish, you won't want to put Dos Equis down. Good thing you have another hand for high fives and fist bumps. Look for the Dos Equis display wherever you load up for tailgating. Dos Equis, a proud sponsor of college football. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2021, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Football is back, and Electronic Express has what you need to make the game bigger than ever. Bring the stadium to you with the best in-home entertainment from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. Watching the game on the go? Save big on laptops, tablets, and headphones. Plus, we have all your appliance needs up to 50% off, and get up to 36 months free financing. We've got you covered this football season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use. Only down payment and required some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Relationship, I guess, gone with Todd Downing. You know, have you seen it develop as the season has gone on?
You guys love these questions. I feel like every week I answer questions like this. My relationship with Todd is great. You know, it's started back in February and still going today. And
Just trying to figure out, like, as the season has gone on, have you guys learned anything more about one another or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the more time you spend with someone, the better your relationship gets, and the more you learn about each other. I feel like we have a great process of putting a game plan together, and then on the sideline, it's been great. I've had some ideas, he's had some ideas on the sideline, and we kind of blend those together and have come up huge for us on the field. Made some huge plays because of adjustments. So I love working with Todd and look forward to continue doing so.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill, and he does not like being asked about Todd Downing every week. You know why they ask about Todd Downing every week?
Because it's worth being asked about?
Well, because I think that people are wondering if Todd Downing is kind of the problem. You know what I mean? We're asking about what's wrong with Tannehill. Chris Sanders is concerned, and everybody else is concerned, and so it's like, so Todd, it's and I think Tannehill's like, you didn't ask me every day about Arthur. Todd, it's going fine. It's going fine.
Do not read too far into Ryan Tannehill's words. We never have. You cannot read too far.
We always read into these words. What are you talking about? That's what we do for a living.
Ryan Tannehill?
All the time.
No, we do not. Ryan Tannehill is Coach Speak 101.
Not then. We read into it when he cried about not making the Pro Bowl team. When Ryan Tannehill,
I wasn't here.
When Ryan Tannehill wants you to know something, Ryan Tannehill will tell you. When Ryan Tannehill didn't want to get the vaccine, we dug into it.
When Ryan Tannehill did not like Daniel Munyer, I think we knew that.
We read into that.
But very infrequently should we look into what Ryan Tannehill says.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm looking into what Tannehill says. But he's frustrated. They keep asking about Downing. He wants him to stop. But they're going to keep asking about Downing because they got questions about Downing. That's the reality of it. So I do want to get to your phones, 615-737-1025, phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We will get to Joe's doozy of a take today, which we will do in a second. But first, your phones, which are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Jason from Mount Juliet texts in and says it's not just one thing in reference to Ryan Tannehill. It says it's like a plane crash. It's always due to a pileup of a number of issues. Different offensive coordinator, injured receivers, dropping balls, no Jonnu, O-line issues. That's a lot to overcome for any quarterback.
Yes, but it's not a lot to overcome for like really good quarterbacks. Like Lamar's not having a problem with that. He's got all those.
Well, Ryan Tannehill isn't Lamar.
I mean, I think coming into the year, you need Ryan Tannehill to beat Lamar. And I think coming into the year, we looked at Lamar and we were like, okay, he's not Rodgers and he's not Brady and he's not that guy, but everybody below that we thought Tannehill was.
But I'm saying his skill set is not the same as Lamar. Now, Tannehill can move now, but if Lamar Jackson, if you switch out his receivers, he's not a passing forward quarterback.
No, but he's a run-pass option guy and he lost all of his running backs.
That is true. He did.
There's a lot of chemistry that goes with when you keep it, when you tuck it, when you pull it, there's a lot there. So, I mean, that's my whole point is that I felt like, Ryan Tannehill was in kind of like position to where if you're going to be one of these elite quarterbacks, then you got to get that figured out. And I didn't feel like he's getting it figured out. Now, I agree with, I think those are all valid points.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I really do. But yeah, so I hear that. What else we got?
Ben, our resident Indianapolis Colts fan.
Oh, God. Here goes Ben. Here he goes. Do y'all get Ben? Robbie Stanley's sitting down here right now.
Yeah.
Ben, the Colts fan. Is he texting all the time? He gives me the thumbs up, says, oh, yeah, Ben the Colts fan, here we go.
Ben the Colts fan texts in and says, I've been saying for a good while now that Tannehill was way overrated going into the season. It's clear he is reliant upon a top coordinator to be considered more than just an average quarterback.
I mean, maybe he's right.
Maybe he's right.
But at the same time, we know where the source of that take is coming from. And when it comes from Indianapolis Ben, I have a hard time getting on board with it. This is the guy who's like, hey, you guys aren't talking enough about Bobby Okereke. And it's like, no, we are not. When we had Fitz on the show, and Fitz was talking about how great the roster for the Colts was. Like, oh, this Colts roster. I'm like, name a defensive player other than Buckner and Leonard. And he named Justin Houston, who's not on the Colts anymore. And I was like, yeah, he's not on the Colts anymore. He's like, well, they got a great roster.
Which is no fault of Fitz. He does a lot.
Sure. And then Ben texted in and was like, you left out Kenny Moore and Bobby Okereke and all these. Oh, okay.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, fine. Yeah, knock yourself out there. What else you got?
Another texter texted in. Want to hear your thoughts on this. Says Tannehill is much closer to Cousins than Lamar. I mean, this season, that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm not going to say he is Kirk Cousins.
Heading down a bad path on that one.
Yeah.
Heading down a Cousins slope.
That's one of those ones where we'd take a call, and I'd be like, Floyd, I just want to hear what he had to say about it. I mean, Cousins, let's just hope Tannehill plays better.
That's safe.
Minnesota has not been good either.
No, they have not. Robbie Stanley's here, by the way. You can go ahead and put that headset on because I want to get to this. So your partner on the radio, Joe Rexrode. Can I tell you something that bothers me about your show?
You go right ahead.
The fact that Joe says some recklessly crazy stuff. And Caroline will push back on me. And the entire text line will fire back at me if I say something reckless.
Which is like the whole show.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Even Ladarius, our on-site engineer, who does a great job. Ladarius was firing back at me earlier today.
Called him a pocket watcher.
Pocket watcher, which is something I had never heard of before.
Very well done, Ladarius.
And yet nobody ever pushes back on Joe. Joe says so many crazy things, and you guys don't push back, and it drives me crazy. So today, you guys are talking about Derrick Henry.
Yep.
And Joe offered up this just beauty of a take, which, by the way, before we get this, I'm watching ESPN all week. They're talking about whether or not Derrick Henry's a Hall of Famer. And most of the people on ESPN are saying, yes, he is right now. Here's what Joe said this morning.
If he gets 2,000 again this year, is Derrick Henry a lock to make the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so. I mean, right now he's on a trajectory where he's absolutely, heading there.
Yep.
But, well, first of all, I guess I would ask back, did they do anything in the postseason this year?
Okay, I don't need to hear anymore. I don't need to hear. If he gets 2,000 yards this year, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. What? What? 2,000 yards? How does your head not explode when he says something like that?
Well, his point is that you look at the accumulation of numbers.
6,000 yards, and it's only 6,000.
Right.
Dude, nobody ever has had 2,000-yard seasons ever.
I'm with you. But his point is there's a certain threshold you've got to get to as a running back. And if you told him he retired now.
This is not baseball where it's you got to have 500 home runs. Sorry, Fred McGriff, you've got 493. You're out. This is not, and football is not a stat sport like baseball is, where it's 300 wins, 3,000 hits, 3,000 strikes, whatever. Football, how many passing yards did Sammy Baugh throw for?
I have no clue.
100. Yes. Back when they wore leather helmets, they didn't even throw. Oh my God, I heard that this morning, and I'm like. Why? That is a ridiculous thing. If Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards, he is unequivocally, positively in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
Right?
Because,
Okay,
Joe says you have to reach a certain threshold. Derrick Henry would recreate the threshold. He would do something that nobody has ever done
Right,
before.
but I think he's talking about career total, right? So, and the other part of this is what do they do in the postseason? Because Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. And he's got 2 Super Bowls. He did it for a very short amount of time.
What about Gale
But he's in
Sayers?
for 2 Super Bowls. Do what?
What about Gale Sayers?
I'd have to look at his career totals. I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
It was 4 good years
Okay.
Terrell Davis had. I don't think Gale Sayers won a Super
Look,
Bowl.
even if he
30
doesn't
years
get to
before I was
2,000 this year, let's say he's around 1,800 and he leads the league in rushing again. You're talking about somebody that's led the league in rushing for 3 consecutive years. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
Right.
So, look, you can make a case without 2,000. He might be in the Hall of Fame after this year. I know what Joe was going for, and quite frankly, I'm just glad it makes you mad. It's one of my favorite things.
It's just crazy talk. It's it gets
For anyone who's not watching the stream, Jared's quite literally falling out of his chair.
Yeah, we've already had some people fall out of the chair in the last week here. We don't need to.
But this was self-inflicted. The Jared versus Joe segment goes by. I literally look down at the clock. I'm like, we have to go to break. Because it's just my opportunity to fire back all the pent-up rage. It used to be.
The amount of texting that you two do during our show is
It
unbelievable.
used to be I would listen to no disrespect to anybody else. I would listen to the other morning shows we have.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's now the fact that it streams that I can literally wake up and just put on YouTube, on my TV, just put the morning show on. There were people in my household that weren't very happy about that, by the way. And I would just put that on and like just now I can like it's literally like I can go from like the Nintendo to the Game Boy because I can watch on the TV and then I can like go like run or walk or extra whatever and I can put my AirPods in and listen to it on my phone and I just listen to the stream of I mean like there are things you guys do that I wouldn't do, but it's working for y'all. And I mean we talked about it on our show. I don't know if you guys talked about it on your show, but the measurables that measure success are telling you and Joe that you guys are doing a good job. So, and I mean, like, I think those should be celebrated, which you guys have worked really hard and it's great. But, like, I mean, I just think it is the pent-up craziness of, like, the fact that Joe, like, I'm just asking that Joe be treated the same as me. Like, that when Jared says something wild and crazy, it's like, well, everybody stop what we're doing because Jared said it. Whereas with Joe, it's like Joe can just say anything. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, Joe said this.
Well, maybe you should take a page out of Joe Rexroad's playbook.
Maybe so.
Maybe you could learn a lesson or two from Joe.
I used to have a neighbor. Her name was Nancy. I love her to death. And she and her husband, Mike, they are die-hard Vanderbilt fans. Die-hard. And when Bryce Drew was the coach, Nancy said to me one day, Joe had written a column about like firing Bryce Drew or something in the Tennessean, and Nancy goes, did you read Rex Rod in the Tennessean today? And so I think from now on, and I love you, Nancy, I think from now on, my response to everything is, did you see Rex Rod today on the show, what he had to say?
I'm all for it.
I'm guessing you're coming on the pregame show?
No, I just came to see you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awfully nice of you.
See both of y'all. Give
You know what he did?
High five.
He got those measurables that we were referring to, the success.
The powers that be.
The success that the Robbie and Rexroad program is having, and he wanted to come up here and gloat in his
that's what it is.
garnet suit.
In his dapper suit.
Are you going to the
You look nice,
Are you
Robbie.
going to the Mississippi State booster party tonight?
Yeah,
after
me
the
and
game
Jeff
on
Simmons
Wednesday?
hanging out tonight.
That looks like something Jeff Simmons would wear.
Hail State.
That's right.
Robbie Stanley with us. Coming up next, we'll bet some games. We'll bet the baseball game, the hockey game. We'll do that next. Plus, the one thing I'm not going to do about this baseball game, we will get to that coming up here on Stillman and Company. Good to see you, Robbie.
Good to see y'all.
TriStar Moving, my official movers. You know, if Robbie one day decides to move into a big house because him and Joe have had so much success that they can buy this giant mansion, and he and his wife decide that they want to move into this mansion, I hope they call my friends at TriStar Moving because they make moving so simple. That's right. I love TriStar Moving, and I hate moving in general. I love TriStar Moving. When I moved, they made it absolutely, positively the best experience. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. From the initial phone call to the final signature, moving became a breeze. They offer home protection covering floors, banisters, railings, door jambs, and even the doors themselves. They're always upping the game when it comes to mover training. All my furniture, everything else wrapped perfectly, and everything was taken care of. They have a brand new state-of-the-art storage facility as well in Mount Juliet. Their owners, Garrett and Robert, true Nashvillians, and that's why TriStar Moving is on the rise quickly. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. Give them a call, 615-640-1219, or visit their website, nationalmoving.org/radio, where they'll give you 5% off your entire move. That's TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, nationalmoving.org/radio. Tell them Jared Stillman sent you, my official movers.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Tries to feed Tomasino in front, he scores! And the Predators win it in overtime, 3-2 the final.
This is a flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline.net remains your #1 spot for all the basketball and football betting content this season. From basketball, football, baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and right up to the upcoming UFC events. So don't wait to check out all the latest news, odds, and information for the 2021 season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to find all the info on your favorite sports. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Apex Trade-In event running now through October 31st. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new Apex 21 irons. The Apex, Apex Pro, and Apex DCB are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
With Fundbox, you can stop waiting and start doing. If your small business needs funds to grow, the time is now. Fundbox offers fast, easy access to small business funding up to $150,000. So hire that new employee, launch that campaign, buy that piece of equipment. Apply in minutes at fundbox.com, and you could get funding as soon as the next business day. Fundbox. Ready, set, grow. Credit line amounts, rates, and terms are based on creditworthiness and subject to change. Additional documentation may be required.
Hey, Nashville, get ready to party Smashville style. On February 26th, the Nashville Predators will make history with the first ever outdoor NHL game in Tennessee as they host the 2022 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series. The Preds will take on the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in front of 70,000 rockin' fans. Visit NHL.com/Stadium Series tickets.
It's football season and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99. Sectionals with Chase Lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are plus leather, microfiber, and Social Furniture has same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social.
Friday night.
Up for a touchdown. Middle Tennessee gets the score.
The MTSU Blue Raiders are on the road for a non-conference showdown against the Connecticut Huskies. Coverage begins at 4
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Stillman and Company live at Bridgestone Arena. Hang out with Caroline Fenton this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It previews the SEC football slate with Southeastern Carolines. She will give you her picks of the day and get you set before kickoff around the South. So, last night in Carolines, I picked the Braves to lose. And I felt very confident that the Braves would, in fact, lose. Then the Braves kicked that rear end. And
they kicked that rear end.
It got tight for about 5 minutes. And the Braves kicked that rear end last night, and they are up 3-1, just like they were up 3-1 last year, but it's a different 3-1. The Braves were the hurt team. Now the Dodgers are the hurt team, which is crazy because the Braves don't even have Ronald Acuna. But I don't believe in the Braves. I can't do it.
Are you saying that because you don't want to jinx it?
I can't do it. I cannot bring myself to expect the Braves to win tonight. I cannot bring myself to expect the Braves. I have tickets for the Chiefs game. I haven't made any plans because I also have tickets for Game 7. So, and that would be Sunday night.
Right.
So if the Braves are playing Sunday night, then I'm going to go to Atlanta, go to the game, not go to the Chiefs game. So I can't ask people, hey, you want to go to the Chiefs game?
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
If I don't know if I'm going to go to the Chiefs game or not. Because I think I'm going to Game 7. Because I think there's going to be a Game 7, and I think the Dodgers are going to win.
I think I agree with you.
That there's going to be a Game 7, the Dodgers are going to win?
Yeah.
You're not even a Braves fan.
So am I not allowed to have an opinion?
No, but like this is like a deep-seated, like rooted in the Braves, you know.
Oh, so I can't have a thought on it?
But you don't feel the pain.
No, I felt plenty of baseball pain in my day. I've also felt plenty of baseball glory in my day.
You're a Cardinals fan. Y'all do things that you're not supposed to do. We lose things that we are supposed to.
You lose games that you're not supposed to lose. We somehow go on a 17-game heater and then barely lose to the Dodgers in the wild card game.
Win 84 games one year and end up winning the World Series is what the Cardinals do.
I have experienced plenty of baseball glory in my day. But I think the Dodgers win tonight.
Do you think they win the series?
No.
Why?
I am a neutral. You say you're a Braves fan, so you don't want to comment on it. I am a neutral being here. Being up 3-1 is some serious something there. And that's some serious motivation, especially because the Dodgers are kind of dropping like flies with their injuries. I think the Braves win the series, but I do think that the Dodgers win tonight. Max Fried on the mound for the Braves. I do love Joe Kelly, and he's on the mound for the Dodgers tonight.
By the way, Drew in sales just texted me and said, if you have to go to Game 7, I'll take your Titans tickets and tribute in your honor.
I knew that would come pretty quickly. People coming out of the woodworks for those Chiefs tickets.
I know, right? Time now for Carolines.
Get in on the action. Put the money on the mahogany. What's on tap on the sports books? It's time to break it all down with Caroline's. Here on Stillman and Company.
On ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline's is brought to you by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years. You can sign up at BetUS.com, mention promo code GAME, and get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit. We've got a Braves-Dodgers game tonight, NLCS game. Braves are throwing out lefty Max Fried on the mound. In the regular season, he was 14-7 with a 3.04 ERA. In his one postseason start, he's 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA. Joe Kelly out on the mound for the Dodgers. I'm going to take the Dodgers.
2 postseason starts.
Is it two postseason starts?
Yeah, he started against the Brewers, dominated. And
His second start of the NLCS, excuse me. This is his second NLCS start.
I mean, look, if the Braves are going to do it, they're going to do it tonight. Because the Dodgers are throwing a bullpen game. And they can line it up with Scherzer and Buehler in 6 and 7. So they've burned through their bullpen the last 2 days. And in Atlanta and everything else, and they are really short-staffed. The Braves have their ace going today. Max Fried has been unhittable down the stretch. He's been awesome in the playoffs. I mean, he's an ace. Like, he is a number one ace.
I saw who was pitching for the Braves tonight, and I thought, okay, they're getting it done tonight. They want to get it done. You got to capitalize on that lead.
Give me the Dodgers on the money line. I am taking the Dodgers.
Jinx City.
Give me the Dodgers. What's next?
Dodgers are on the money line, -134. Braves +114. I am going to take the Dodgers on -134. We've also got some Thursday night football tonight. We have got the Broncos at Cleveland. A little bit of a curveball here. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. No Baker Mayfield. You know what? I don't trust Case Keenum. I mean, the Browns are riddled with injuries. Nick Chubb out with a calf injury. Kareem Hunt out with a calf injury. Baker Mayfield out with a shoulder. Jarvis Landry, Jack Conklin, Jedrick Willis Jr., and Odell Beckham all questionable tonight. Teddy Bridgewater is dealing with a little bit of a foot issue, but I do think that Denver goes in to Cleveland and gets it done.
I will take the Browns because I just think they have a better team. And they are dealing with injuries, but they're 3-3. They've been getting called out. The game's at home. I am going to take the Browns. I think they will get it done.
The spread here is only 1.5. If it was more like 3.5, I would have taken the Broncos +3.5. But I mean, here it's not even worth your money on the spread, so I'm taking them on the money line.
Sure. By the way, hockey tonight. I think Preds get it done. I think they even themselves up to 2-2 tonight. I think, and we'll give our final scores and everything else. I think the Predators are. I think the Predators are the kind of team where they're going to win a lot of games this year because every game is going to be close with their goalkeeping, and then they're going to poke one through, or they're going to give up one late, and tonight I think they'll win a close one. So I think the Predators will win tonight. Give me 3-1 with an empty netter.
I think it's going to be 3-2 Preds. Puck line here is 1.5. So, taking New York Rangers +1.5 -280, it's not even worth it. If you want to take Preds -1.5 +225, I don't think they win by more than 2 goals.
Tell us about Caroline's.
Caroline's is brought to you by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years. You can sign up at BetUS.com, mention promo code GAME, and get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit.
There you go. Predators game day is next. Let me tell you about Invigorate Health. That's right, InvigorateHealthTN.com. I was at Invigorate Health today, and I had the M-Sculpt Neo strapped on. They had these plates right there on the abdomen, that hard-to-get-rid-of fat area, and they pumped it up to 100%. And I'm going to tell you, it felt like Derrick Henry running the football right at me. Then it came back, goes back to the huddle, takes a second. There goes Derrick Henry. But guess what? It gets rid of 30% of fat and helps gain 25% of muscle. It is totally worth it. The M-Sculpt Neo machine, it's a $450,000 machine. And you can go to Invigorate Health, and you can sign up right there. They also checked all of my levels. Guess what? Healthy as an ox over here. Now, I've got to watch the cholesterol a little bit, but other than that, everything's good.
Great to hear.
But a lot of people aren't that way. So if you need hormone replacement, or you need testosterone, or you need your kidney functions checked and things of that magnitude, they can do that at Invigorate Health. And I'm going to tell you something. So not only do they have that, they have IV therapy just to get you back on your feet if you've been sick or if you've maybe gone out a little too hard or whatever it may be. They've got the IV bags. You go right in there, boom, they pop that thing right in there. It's perfect. If you're feeling old, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sick, if you're feeling sluggish, Invigorate Health, they do it all. InvigorateHealthTN.com. But not only that, the staff at Invigorate Health, and I am not saying this because, they are a proud sponsor of this show. I'm saying this because I freaking love those people. I mean, those people are great people. And if you're going to go in there and you're going to do something as invasive or as personal as something like this, you want people there that are not only doing the same things you're doing, but also are great people who respect you, respect your privacy, and are so easy to get along and make things understandable. They've got the best staff there. Whatever it is that's making you feel old or tired or weak or fat or you name it, InvigorateHealthTN.com. That's where you need to go. My friends, Invigorate Health. Again, InvigorateHealthTN.com.
And it belongs to the Titans in a wild finish here tonight.
The Tennessee Titans have another big test this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've got you covered.
There's got to be a lot of confidence in the run blocking game right now.
All week long.
Derrick Henry always finds a way.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Hey Nashville, it's Jared, and there's a new go-to for home furnishing. Social Furniture on the West Side is independently home-owned furniture store in Nashville. Forget the big box store. Shop local, shop social.
It's football season, and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99, Chase Lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are Plus Leather, Microfiber, and Chanel's. There's no waiting, and take home your new motion furniture today or with their same-day fine furniture delivery. Social Furniture has no down payments and no interest. You don't want to miss out on their best lifetime guarantee motion furniture sale going on now.
Shop local, shop social. 5412 Charlotte Avenue near White Bridge Road, and tell them Jared Stillman sent you.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Apex Trade-In event running now through October 31st. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new Apex 21 irons. The Apex, Apex Pro, and Apex DCB are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
It's Hockey Night in Smashville.
Deflects back for Duchesne. His shot stop. And the score!
What are the keys to victory tonight? What's being said in the locker room? Where do the Preds reside in the Central Division standings? Jared Stillman has the latest now. With Preds Game Day on Stillman and Company. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. This is Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Nashville Predators, New York Rangers tonight at Bridgestone Arena, 7 o'clock right here, ESPN 1025 The Game. Pregame coming your way in about 6 minutes. The Predators are 1-2-0, good for 2 points on the season. The Rangers 2-1-1, good for 5 points on the season. We start with the coach's take, where John Hines says after a win the other night, it's time to keep it rolling.
Well, I just think be real consistent with our game, and we felt like we've done a lot of good things in the first 3 games, and probably our most complete game was against LA. and it was nice to get rewarded for it. So, we talked about some areas yesterday and this morning that we really liked, and I think early in the year you are continuing to build your identity and the details of your game, and we're excited. It should be a good opportunity to end the homestand against a real good team. I think they've won 2 straight now, so they're coming in feeling really good about themselves. So we're expecting a real competitive game.
So the Predators look at a team like the Rangers that kind of had to take a little bit of a step back, kind of build it up a little bit, and go the way that they've gone. And John Hines wants to see some consistency. Now, what does that mean for the lineup tonight? That I do not know. I do wonder if this is going to be a game where perhaps Philip Tomasino works his way back into the lineup. I asked as the midday show was leaving, I asked Willie if that was a possibility, and he said it might be. We had Crispy on earlier today, and Crispy said he wants to see the young guys, but he wants to see the guys that have played well in the past. He wants to see them kind of do what they are on the team and on the roster to do. UC Soros will assume will be in net for the Predators, 1-2 on the season with a 2.03 goals against average, 9.27 save percentage. Not bad numbers there whatsoever for UC Soros. Caroline Fenton tonight, right here, 7 o'clock. What are you watching for from the Predators?
I just want to see the Predators have a little bit of consistency here, and I think the most important thing for them moving forward is just to continue to build momentum, especially so early in the season. I said at the beginning of the season, I don't want to see another midseason turnaround. I don't want it to be the Predators being at the very bottom of the NHL. They have to turn their way around and have to dig their way back to the top, so I'm looking for a little bit more consistency and for the Preds to get back at that 500 win percentage.
By the way, Tanner Jeannot scored his first career game-winning goal on Tuesday against Los Angeles. He now has 6 goals and 8 points in his first 18 career NHL games. So, keeping an eye on this, David said he knew more than me when he decided to keep Jeannot. Got a game winner the other night. Got to give credit where credit's due. I can rip David all the way 8 ways to Sunday, but if the guy gets it done, then you got to give the guy credit for getting it done.
Win's a win.
That's going to do it for us. We are out of here. Puck drop, 7 o'clock. The voice of the Nashville Predators, Pete Weber, will have the call. Meanwhile, Darren McFarland is standing by. Pre-game is next. Go Braves, go Preds, and we will see you tomorrow at 2.
Take us wherever you may go.
There are 2 guys on